You're out of storage.
Oh.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogout Monster here, and welcome to Why the Fascination. I am here with my lovely co-host, Iron Duggar.
Hi.
I hope everybody's having a good night. I'm having some technical difficulties. I'm running this on a hotspot. Apparently, the internet is acting up, so luckily I was able to hook up to the hotspot, and hopefully we'll get this going. But it seems like there might be a little bit of a delay, but I think we'll be all right.
Be fine.
So how are you, Iron?
Good. I'm at my mom's.
You've been a busy little bee.
Yeah.
Good to see.
Yeah.
Or a busy little hippie or flower child.
Peace.
Oh, we got a bunch of people in chat. Might as well start saying hi to everybody, guys. I hope everybody's doing good tonight, by the way. Mr. Lee, what's up? 7 Pearls. Pyromedic, what's going on? Mr. Van Buren, what's going on, Bob? How are you?
Nice.
Hiveless B, good to see you again. All the way from the other side of the pond. Hey, Jen. Stevie B, what's happening? Hey, Jared, what's up, buddy? Jared Crazy Indian. Good to see you. Jeff Harding, what's happening? Jeff says, pinch it off, Mugs. Hello, Ida. Caucasian Sasquatch. How's it going?
Oh, hey,
so, yeah, I'm scrolling the other way. You're looking at chat as it comes in. I'm going backwards to see who's already here. Michael Haywood, what's up? Scotty. FJC. Sandra Piper, great to see you. I don't know if I said hi to Katie yet, but hi again. Richie Evans, I'm glad to see you're with us and surgery went well. Prayers to you. You know, you'll get through the pain. Don't worry. That's what drugs are for.
Take them so your body can rest. Because if you don't rest, your body can't heal.
Rex Hand, how's it going? What else we got here? I'm just going to scroll up because I think I got most everybody. If I missed you, I really apologize, guys, you know. I mean, there's only... Oh, shit.
What?
When I started reading, there was 24. Now there's 37, so now I got to... It's a good thing they're not all in chat, because that would just take forever. And those of you that aren't in chat, why not? I get it. Just want to watch. Bill, how's it going? Hey, Bat Mom. What was that?
They said they're watching from their TV. All relaxed on there.
Sharon Guy. Texas Jack. Welcome. I hear the dog scratching at the glass behind me. Guys, I'm outside. I'm sitting by the pool. It's too nice out to be inside, so I just set everything up out here. But I hear the dog scratching at the sliding glass door behind me. And like my dog I can let out, but if I let the other German Shepherd out, it's going to be a bark fest. Roll. Hilton, what's up, buddy? Where you been?
Yeah.
I know where you are, but where you been?
Working.
Claude Nall, Uncle Bones, Hoosier, everybody's here. Catherine Lindquist, nice to see you.
Yeah. Nice.
So, yeah, you know, I have to apologize. I missed your show the other night. You know, the one that you almost missed.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me. Oh, my gosh. I was about to
It tells me it's 6 o'clock or whatever, and I do the math, and I'm like, oh, wait, 3 o'clock your time, so that's 7 o'clock here. And no, it was an hour early. I turned it on, and it was the weirdest thing because I looked, okay, it's on. Oh, there they are. Oh, cool. And then I turn my head, I come back, and it's gone. I'm like, oh, wait, what? You guys were just saying goodbye. I thought you were, you just got on. I was like, oh, no.
Oh, gosh. Well, you know how I always like to be early. I like to check in early and get everything going and making sure everything's right. Well, I was like, when he said it, when I was told 3 o'clock, I should have double checked. I should have double checked. That's on me. Anyhow, so I was like, do. About 2 o'clock, I just had this overwhelming like, check your email. So I
That's it.
go over there, and I had my hair like flipped the other way because I was getting ready to, mess with it, and didn't have my sweater on. And I look, and it said, oh, an email. And I thought, oh, cool. Want to log in an hour early. We can chat and figure things out. And nope, the guest was on, and I'm standing there, and I'm like I pay good money to have seen the look on my face. Poor Daniela. Anyhow, I was just like, are you live?
Richie's like, Iron Dogger was guest on Bigfoot Odyssey. That's what we're talking about, Reggie.
Yeah.
Glad we're on the same page.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Mark Dodman, good day, brother. Who else did I just see? Mr. Page, how are you?
Good. Yeah, it was awesome.
Forgive me if I'm sucking my teeth. I just something stuck.
Oh.
I'm trying to do it quietly as possible.
That you're working on your southern drawl there too.
Y'all come back now. Here. WTF Mike, what's happening? Oh, where did I put that?
Is that my nemesis?
It is. Dun, dun, dun. Miss T, welcome. Good to see you. Who else is here? Dragons EW, how's it going, man? He's the ghost in chat. He hangs out a lot over on Sean's channel. Hey, Breeze, what's going on, man? Guys, if you can't hear me, I had to disconnect my mic, so I'm just using the microphone from the piece, my laptop. I could plug in, use my headphones and that mic, which I might do. I have a hotspot running. Our internet's doesn't seem to want to work. So
Mopar Bill.
We'll deal with it. Carol and Bill King, how are you? I already said hi to Bill, but I thought it was under. I saw somebody say Mopar, and I was like, "Hey, Bill," but Carol might be here as well. Emma, how are you, hon? What else? So yeah, I was down earlier. Just took a ride and hung out down by the water. It was gorgeous. It was just gorgeous. The full moon as it was coming up, and you get that reflection all the way across the water.
Yeah.
And then there's a sailboat docked out there. It was cool as hell.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I want to go riding, with the side by side through the trails. I that was one of the things I loved about snow machining with the big full moons is all those long shadows. And,
but you can see forever, especially in snow and a full moon. It's like daytime.
Yeah, really bright.
What else we got here? So yeah, guys, it's just the normal show. You guys know how it works. I'll put the link in chat, which I didn't even copy yet. And if you want to pop on, feel free. Copy the clipboard. We don't have a. I forgot I'm looking at that thing on the. Hey Joe, what's up, man?
Yeah. Whoa, my camera just readjusted.
Oh, did it go fuzzy?
Yeah.
I'm just reading what your dad's saying. Trying to get synced up with you as I got you on 2 different channels. How does that work?
Probably has it on the screen, on his big screen.
Oh.
Or his tablet.
Oh, yeah, and then because,
Yeah.
You do get that delay where it's not synced.
Mm-hmm.
Vocals.
Yeah.
Bigfoot and on, what's happening? What else is going on? Caught a catfish earlier.
Oh. Did you get...
Yeah, one of those catfish that if you get jabbed, it kills you for like a week. Yeah, one of those. Um, yeah, I was very, very careful with it.
Do they have like gloves for handling those things?
Probably.
Okay.
Will I wear them? Probably not.
Chainmail.
Yeah, but even that, you can. It's like a spine, so it's thin and it's pointy, so it's going to go right through almost anything.
Yeah.
I've heard people step on them and it goes through their shoe. Yeah, bad. I mean, I had it bad enough in my thumb, but imagine in the
It
bottom of
needs
your
some
foot,
kind of like Kevlar or something.
something.
Mm,
Because it was never wanted to. No, thank you.
no.
That was just brutal.
No, from the sounds of them, if I ever caught one, I'd just cut my line.
I, well, if it had swallowed the hook, I would have, but the hook was, in its mouth, so I just grabbed the pliers and picked it up and shook it off. But that's how I got stabbed the last time too. I shook it off. This thing twitched, and dunk. Next thing you know, I'm like, damn it! And
Uh,
then for days, I mean, it ended my fishing right there. It was so painful.
yeah.
Blue-eyed northern. I don't know if I said hi. I saw you. Hello. I'm more. I'm more concerned with praying that we get through the show with the internet and with what I'm using, and hopefully, I'm assuming that this will charge at the same time it's being used. It's a little hotspot that's plugged into my computer,
Oh,
and
okay.
um, that's the same way you charge it. So would it charge and would it work both ways at the same time? I don't know.
It should. It depends on if it can keep up the charge with the draw.
WTF, Mike? It was a saltwater catfish.
Dad
And
said to use a hay hook.
use a hay hook.
A
Who
hay
said
hook.
that?
My dad.
What the hell a hay hook is?
I,
Sure, there's a joke somewhere in there.
I don't know. You never tell with my dad. Explain, Dad, if you can.
Stevie says it will charge at the same time, so that's cool because I had to, I got everything plugged in. So, but yeah, I don't know. I could turn on a light and show you behind me, but why bother? I'll do that in a bit. Oh no, it is. I'll light this place up like a landing strip. I push a button.
Oh, nice.
Well, I put all these lights all the way around this. What the hell do you call this? A lanai, something like that. Screened in.
Oh, nice. 7 pearls.
Oh, right on. 7 pearls. Mogs, a dear friend, sent me my first laptop. I am so blessed. That's awesome.
Nice.
I'm glad. That's great.
Congrats. Yeah, she had a beautiful fire tonight with the moon.
All right. Nice. Yeah, I've been a little absent in the past week from shows. I haven't been in people's chats. I think I stopped in last night. Was it last night? Yeah, over on Larry's show.
Not gloating, I'm sorry.
What happened?
I won a book.
Oh yeah,
On
yeah.
their show, yeah. Oh, I
Whose
was
book was
driving
that?
around. It's Cam Buckner's, isn't it?
Was it?
I think so. Yeah, signed. And I was driving around with my mom, and I was listening to it.
Papa C is like, I'm trying to eat dinner here, and you guys don't know what a hay hook is. No, I don't know what a hay hook is.
I know my husband is probably just flipping
Shaking
and
his
flopping
head.
all over the place.
What the hell's a hay hook? I have to look it up now. But I can't say to Google what the fuck is a hay hook.
A hay hook. All right, here we go.
No, we're gonna find out right now.
We're gonna do this. It's going down right now. Hay hook.
What is a hay hook?
Oh.
Oh, it's a fucking gaff.
Oh, yeah, a gaff.
No, I want to release him. I don't want to kill him. Yeah, so I just use long, heavy-duty needle nose pliers, grab the hook, and shake them until they fall out.
Joe, you pick up hay with it.
Well, yeah,
You
but you use
dumbass.
I'm thinking fishing, not Farmer Joe.
That's so awesome.
Somebody could have said a gaff. Gay date. Hey, Mike.
Oh my gosh. Hey.
We're going to hell tonight. Oh, there goes my camera. I gotta wait for my camera to adjust. There it is.
Oh my gosh.
Chasing the Truth with Sean G. How's it going? What's up, Sean? Sorry I missed your last show, buddy. Or maybe even your last two. Things have been crazy. BF Bud, what's happening? I just saw somebody. I don't even know what you got going on over there.
Don't. My nemesis is impressed with being called Farmer Joe.
Farmer Joe. Oh. Sorry, buddy. Gonna offend somebody.
Oh my goodness. We're on a roll tonight.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be miserable after the end of this because I'm like leaning forward in this. Like this is like I'm sitting all the way back in that chair, and I got to stop moving because my camera's on automatic. So it's just gonna.
That's like, what are you practicing for? Like your another Halloween episode, like you did last year?
Oh
Freaking
shit! That's in
scared
what?
the crap right out of you.
12 days. It's less than 2 weeks away.
I don't know.
It's like 12 days from now. You gotta figure something out.
I want to be a hippie.
Me too. Ta-da! Happy Halloween!
Trick or treat!
That's funny. Barb Santy, good to see you. She's like, hey, Moog's finally still awake. To see you. Loving our hippie in the house. Lockbeard, what's happening, dude? 60 watching tonight. Right on. So
Awesome.
glad. 17 minutes in. That's cool. Oh, yeah, I got to do something, don't I?
Yeah. How's someone going to join us if you don't share?
Maybe I'm just going to be selfish for a little while.
Oh, well, you can do that. Your show, you do what you want.
Where are we? Let's see. Hopefully I did copy it. I did copy it. Amazing.
So
yeah,
you have the voice.
If it sounds a little different, it's because I'm not using my microphone. I'm using the microphone that's built into the PC or the laptop, so I could plug in that hotspot.
That's right.
But hey, it's working, so we're doing all right.
We're doing all right.
Paulie, I just saw Paulie here.
I don't know. I didn't see him, but
hey, Mike Kirkpatrick. Oh, number 27. Daddy like you like. Number 27. That's weird. Why 27? My number's 27. So Mike, I was wearing your cross today, dude. The one he made for me.
Oh, nice.
It's usually hanging on the wall behind me, but I was wearing it today.
Oh, good.
Did I put the link in chat? Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Sean's cooking. He's gonna have a burger. I was scarfing before. I'm like putting. I didn't even shave. Like, I've been running around and I was slamming down some Mickey D's before, just while I'm setting everything up and talking to her. I'm still like eating French fries, you know. When I say her, I'm talking to them and I mean you. So,
Yeah, I had mom's homemade soup.
ooh, kind.
Yeah, chicken, chicken, chicken noodle
Chicken noodle. Okay, that's
with
better.
orzo. Well, you know,
Well, it's pasta.
yeah, it's good.
Orzo and I like orzo.
Yeah,
A
and
little bit goes a
chicken
long
soup.
way.
Oh, it's so good. It's hard for me to have soup without it in it. That or Ajani babe. Good stuff.
So what am I? Oh, awesome, bro! It helped me beyond belief. You know what, dude? I today was like the first time I went out wearing it. Usually it's hanging behind me, but I don't think it was the cross that helped me. And this isn't a joke. I'm just saying. I don't usually talk religion or God. You know, I'll talk God, but I won't talk religion. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I leave the dogma out of it. Um, do you ever feel blessed? Truly, like
Mhm.
God's hand touched you or intervened or just said, "Okay, enough is enough."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm at. You know, just prayers are being answered that I didn't even know I made.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really
Hilton,
good.
where'd you go? You were back there and then you disappeared. I was about to click on Hilton and boom, he was gone. Yeah, it's
Come
just
back.
I'm reading. I I didn't, I question everything. I'm a little skeptical about a lot of, whatever. It's a healthy skepticism. But in this case, I'm not asking questions. You don't question God. And I know it's him doing it, her doing it doing it, whatever you want to call it. God's doing it. And I'm just I'm blown away.
Oh wow.
I don't doubt what's going on. I don't question. I can't. I'm not allowed to question it. I don't want to question it. So I just thank you, Lord. I'm
That's
just
good
grateful.
news. That's wonderful.
Well, and it just seems I thought maybe there was a turnaround in the universe. Last week, how was your week? Sucked. How
Mm-hmm.
was this week?
Beautiful.
Stevie B, how was last week? Sucked. How's this week going? Put it in chat. Things are turning around. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it's weird.
I was thinking that last night, and I was talking to my sister earlier, and you know, she's so happy down there, like she's in Tampa now, and she's oh man, she is so happy, even though she's hurting and stuff. She just had her surgery and she keeps overdoing it. It's something we repeat in my family, but
James Bros, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing good. Where are you
nice.
coming from?
Sarasota, Florida.
Oh,
All
right on.
right.
Yeah, I'm just below you down in Cape Coral.
Yeah, I'm friends with Connor. Uh,
Oh, right on.
yeah. We're
Sorry. No, I'm kidding.
we're in a group called Outcast Paranormal, and
Ooh,
Stacey Brown and RPG, formerly of Finding Bigfoot. We kind of make up the group, and we're making some movies and doing some fun stuff. So Connor always speaks
Fantastic.
of you. Yeah, he said, "Hey, jump in and check him out." So before bed, I figured I'd jump in and check you out.
Well, you are
awesome.
you going to be over in Mayaca in next month?
Yeah. I'm about 20 minutes from there. So,
Right on.
actually took Connor out he wanted to go to Mayaca. So on the way down, I arranged to have Crowley Nature Museum, which is where we're going to do the event.
Okay.
Close to the public, but we know the lady that kind of runs the place, and she gave Connor and I full access to that area when it was closed. And then there's a boardwalk back there that's not been, it needs to be repaired, and they're working on funding, but no one's been back there for a couple of years. And it was, we've had experiences there before and evidence. And so I took Connor back, and it was pouring rain. It was overgrown, like going through jungle. So we had a ball. It was just an absolute ball going back.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, man. It's really cool. So, and we've
Have
got
were you up at the Florida conference?
yeah,
That's one.
there. Yeah.
Because you looked familiar. I was there, so I was just, I talked to Stacy for a while, and
Yeah.
been meaning to hook up with him. I just haven't had the time, but yeah. And then Connor told me that you guys were doing that camp out in November,
Yeah.
and so I'm thinking about coming and checking that out with you guys.
That'd be great, man. It'd be so good to see you. And we're going to this weekend. I'm going up to where Stacy is in Tallahassee and some of the other crew, and we've kind of starting another YouTube series called Paranormal Road Tripping. So,
Okay.
like I'm gonna do, if you go to a restaurant or a city and you check out all the little diners,
Sure.
well, we're going up near the Tallahassee area, and we're checking out the Witch's Grave, and it's actually a house that wants us to investigate that's got stuff going on, and the Warrior on the River bar, which is haunted, supposedly,
Okay.
and they've captured stuff, and maybe the Bellamy Bridge. So we're going to take Connor up there, or Connor's going to meet us up there, and we're just going to do the whirlwind 3 days. Probably won't sleep much, but it'll be fun. It'll be really fun.
That's so
my
cool,
God.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gotten out much. I do get up to last time I was out, I was up near Webster.
Yeah.
My roommate has a piece of property up there. It's kind of like a fish camp, but it's got a little cabin on it. It was like a trailer that was built onto, and it's right on the little Withlacoochee River. The property is right on the river, and I was up there 3 weeks ago, and it was weird because I was sitting outside on the picnic table, on top of the picnic table, and the river is in front of me, and to my right there's woods. It's a lot that's for sale, and something just I looked left or right for some reason, and something caught my eye, and there were lights up in the trees. Like I saw two lights come in, and they were like just above the trees, like the top of the trees. So that's what, 60 feet up or something.
Yeah.
And then they split up, and I'm like, is this a drone? Is there, or they're not fireflies? They're white, but they're bigger, and they just went through the treetops a little bit, and then they disappeared. But it was bizarre, and that was up in Webster.
Nice, man.
I didn't film. I wasn't prepared for that. I was
Yeah.
just chilling out, and I was. That's the thing. I had an audio recorder going on my phone, but something wasn't set up correctly. The SD card wasn't set up correctly, so it didn't save what I recorded, because I was talking as I was watching these things, and for nothing.
I told you, man, it's always the way too. We had we were investigating, and we filmed for 2 days. We stayed at this guy's place up north, and he was on the Discovery Channel on one of their shows like 10 years ago, and stuff hasn't stopped. And this is more, he would classify as interdimensional, almost like alien stuff. And they got divorced over it. I've tracked down the ex-wife, interviewed her, and these two people look like they're clearly in love still. And we had to ask, was this a part of it? And she's like, listen, she put it like this: if you experienced what we experienced, your whole reality would be shattered. And whatever this is, the lead kind of entity, whatever, it's female, and it doesn't want me with them. It doesn't want him with any females. You won't. He's not going to have a female in his life. It's
And
just
who is this?
What's that?
Who were you talking about?
Yeah, this guy's name's David Eckhart.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we've got some pictures. He was sending pictures. I've gotten to know him, and the pictures are either real. Either he figured out a way to really have these weird fake pictures, or it's pretty disturbing. And so we went there, stayed 2 days, and again, first day we go in, he's like, he's on a riding mower in his front yard. And we had been there once before just to meet him, make sure he wasn't like some cracked out maniac or something. You know?
Right.
We met him, and okay, so we go back a few weeks later. We bring someone with us that was like a social media influencer, and he's like, hey, go on in. I'm just cutting the grass. So RPG, if you know who he is, he was the one that he emceed the event, the Bigfoot conference.
Okay. Yeah. He was at. Did he? It's you guys, Stacy, and you guys had the same table, right?
Yeah.
RPG. Yeah.
So RPG is RPG, and he's like, hey, I'll finish cutting that grass for you. And he runs over and jumps on the riding mower, and David takes a hand mower and is finishing up. So I take this person in the house. It's just me and this person. And I point out, this is a table we sat at when we were doing the scouting filming. And, you know, the only thing that happened was that day we only stayed for a few hours, but we sat down and we started talking. And immediately all of us, just our eyes got heavy, like we just couldn't stay awake. It was just kind of weird, right? And so as I'm explaining that, this person's got their phone, they're kind of panning around the kitchen area, and all of a sudden they let out a gasp. And I thought maybe they got a text like, you know, mom was in a car accident or something.
Yeah,
It was that. And then they kind of go forward, and I'm like, hey, sit down. I'm like, you okay? They're like, man, I can't breathe. My heart's going. I can't breathe. And I'm like, you want to go outside? I'm like, no, just let me sit here for a minute. So I turn around and walk to the kitchen where they came from, and I had shorts on. And the second I go in the kitchen, all the hair on just my calves just popped straight out, like I walked into a wall of static. And so that's kind of freaky. And then my whole head had this static tingle, you know, just right from the front to back of my head. And I said, let's just go outside for a bit. So we went outside, and we hadn't even started yet, you know, and some other weird stuff happened before or during, and then afterwards, people had some things happen. But again, we walk in the house, we don't have a camera. We're just like going in to get, you know, a drink of water, and then you're not even set up. But it seems to be, to your point, the way it happens, man. Just, you know.
Has anybody ever taken like some EMF readings?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
If there's high EMF readings, that'll cause a lot of shit. You probably know that. Like, you know.
Yeah, and then I actually left a radiation device that measures like gamma rays, right? And my thinking was, it's almost like portal type stuff, mainly in his bedroom. And I left it there. Look, the units, the measurement of units on the baseline is like 15. Right? 15, 13, cool. He started taking pictures where it would spike to 30, and then the next month it was spiking to 40. Then last month it spiked to 60, and 50 is a potentially dangerous burst of radiation inside a bedroom, right?
Right.
So we're going back there actually to film some more and kind of finish the story, but a couple of people aren't real hip on it. They're like, that place scared me, and they had some weird stuff happen afterwards, and they're kind of second guessing if they want to go back. And he told me, he said, dude, don't be surprised if some things follow you guys home.
Ooh.
And we were like,
you know what? You got to armor up beforehand, you know?
We did. We brought a guy who's he's an Indian chief, priest, exorcist, and he did a blessing, a protection before he was there. And he said, look, dude, I know you guys were talking aliens and interdimensional. He said, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's something dark. And that's what I'm picking up. So we're going to man up and go back up there and spend probably a couple more days at his place at some point here. But I'll leave you with this. He told us also when we were up there he said, look, before this show came out back in the day, they came and investigated. They had their electronic fail, and some weird stuff happened. I contacted that guy who's still on the net now. He has shows, and I reached out and said, hey, we're going to investigate this guy. What's your take on him? Straight up. He said, listen, dude, there's some weird shit going on with him, because this isn't even the same house. This is the third house the guy's been in, and wherever he goes,
he's got an attachment.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
he was saying from our group. He's like, it's an attachment. But when this was really in the height of it at his one house before the show came out, he was in the construction business, and he had to tell someone. This stuff was going nuts. And he told his foreman, he said, who's like this big biker dude, toughest guy he met, and his best friend. And his foreman looked him in the face and, pardon the French, said, yeah, you're fucking psychotic. And he said, dude, just come over and check it out. So the guy went over. They sat in the room. My wife will sit here. I'll sit here. You sit here. They chilled, got cold. And he said the static came in, and you could kind of see it like heat. And he said, you can touch it. Go ahead and touch it. And he did. And he said it feels like wet static. And the guy sat back, and they're just checking out. And he looks over, and the guy's just got tears coming down his eyes. And he's like, that's enough, man. That's enough. So they're like, you can go sleep on
Hang
the
on a
couch.
second.
Guy goes and sleeps on the couch. David goes out the next morning and says, I told you, dude, isn't it crazy? I mean, amazing, right? And he said he looked at him and said, you did some kind of mind control power on me. He didn't want
that shit.
3 months later, the guy took his own life. He said he was never that, turned the gas on in his trailer and lit a match. And luckily the dog was outside. But there's a number of people involved that even reached out to us when I was investigating, said, dude, don't mess with that place too much and that guy. You know, bad things happen. So we're going to, like you said, you just have to have your mind right, prepare right.
Yeah, like, you mentioned that you had, what would say a shaman with you.
Yeah.
It's good, but unless the people involved truly believe that it works or that you're protected, there's going to be a weak link, and that's another person who could get attachment. It's really you got to be careful when you go into situations like that.
For real, man, for real. So, but I'll leave you guys with this. I just got to get the kids to bed. Connor said you got to jump on. He's the coolest guy in the world. They're awesome. So you guys, I appreciate it. I just got a call today from a guy, Indian tribe in the Midwest, who's got Sasquatch forever, right?
Okay.
And he said, dude, because he's trying to pick someone to film this, and he invited us out. So I think Stacy and I might get out there before it gets too cold and go out there with them, break some bread, investigate with them. He said you could film some, and if they're cool with us and we're in, then we got to go back and do the whole shooting match. But that'll be
tobacco.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, dude.
Like bring some tobacco, like loose leaf tobacco for sure.
Offering.
For offering for both. For both.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Now,
for your guide and for the
Cool.
So where can people find you?
Yeah.
We're Outcast Paranormal with a K. Outcast with a K.
Okay.
Paranormal. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I've done a series of interviews like with Nick Pope, Robert Salas, who had the UFO incident in Montana where they shut down nuclear missiles. He's testifying in front of in Washington.
Congress, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm getting to the Bigfoot ones, but I've done a lot of the paranormal or the more alien related ones. I've got about 10 interviews up. We're going to start doing the paranormal road trip series. So,
you definitely have to come back for sure.
Absolutely, man.
I'll keep you guys posted, man. Really appreciate you letting me blab away here for a while.
Yeah,
no, dude.
Thing.
Guys, check them out at Outcast Paranormal. That would be awesome. No, dude, I'm glad you did. I love to see new faces.
Yeah.
And my experiences are paranormal, but I have a fascination with Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Do
I'm
you
linked.
use a spirit box by any chance, or any tools like that?
We did, and I'll tell
Medium.
you a quick story about that. I have a lady
Okay.
who's a lifetime experiencer and just dialed in. Her name's Pamela Nance. She's on my YouTube channel as well.
Okay.
I told her what we were doing, and I told her I was a little bit nervous. So I wanted someone to talk to the day of, and I called her. I said, Pam, because she's had some real experiences, and she just she just isn't afraid. And I had some fear, and I was like, I'm a little bit nervous. I'll just be honest. So told her what we were doing. When we went twice up there for the first time to do the scout shoot, we used a spirit box. The second time, we had somebody that we brought in that didn't know anything about the spirit box or the place, and we had them do the spirit box. And both times, the name Beth kept up. And one time it was repeating Beth, Beth, Beth. It was creepy.
Interesting.
I called Pam leaving, and she said, I did a spirit box sessions from North Carolina. And I said, really? And she said, did these names come up? And the name, she mentioned the name Beth as well, all the way from North Carolina. Like,
Wow.
yeah, it did.
Ugh.
Beth was hanging out with Danny.
Hey, man.
Wow, that sounds really interesting.
Definitely. That's
Yeah,
cool.
you-
James,
You
James,
definitely
it
need
was
to come
very
back and
nice to
tell us
meet
more.
you.
You
And I agree with Iron. That was just totally awesome. Okay, what you said was very interesting. It's intriguing. I'm familiar with the topics, and thank you very much. And tonight, yes, I'm clowning around, folks. I have been joking that if I have to wear a mask, yes, why the fascination, Moggs? If I have to wear a mask, I want one with lights and bling. Oh, imagine if I decorate it. It's a great Halloween costume. And get this, guys. I mean, it does everything. I'm told that I can scroll messages across it, but I don't know how to do that yet. And you press these little buttons that are in it, and check this out, will you?
nice.
It has like I don't know how many different modes. Okay. And yeah, and it's on that Tiki Talkie channel, y'all all know. Get you one. And so on campfire nights, you not only have light, but you have a voice activated light show.
Right on.
Awesome.
That's cool, Phil.
Oh, yes, give me a witch's hat. Oh, Polly, this is just for you, dear.
James, thank you
James,
so
thank
much.
you.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
Pearl.
Thank
Keep
you,
on
Pearl.
keeping
I
on
appreciate it.
posted, man. For real.
We'll see you soon, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
I
come back.
love y'all.
Bye-bye.
Be safe out there, man.
Thank you,
I will.
Thank you,
James.
man.
My son likes this mode. It looks like a butterfly or something, huh, Arn? He
It
likes
does.
this little.
What's up? What's up, Polly?
Are
Oh.
y'all able to see the colors on
Yes.
Yeah.
film?
Yes.
Can you
Yeah.
see it change colors when it does?
And we can
Yeah,
hear
I'm
you yelling,
testing
too.
this because you know I'm going to put this on my son come Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have big fun. All right, well, I've got
There you
to
are.
breathe now,
Oh, there
okay?
you
Nice.
But I just miss you all. I love you all. Love to all. Love for all. And always just keep some love in your heart. Moggs, I heard your story. Yeah, it was a tough week. There's some changes going on in earth and in the heavens that are affecting the humans, animals, migratory birds. It's definitely serious. The more that we can channel peace and love within ourselves in these trying times, better off we're going to be.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
I
And
agree.
it's funny because you know what? I when I pray, like I pray before the show. I say the Lord's Prayer. But other than that, I pray for other people. You know, somebody in chat comes up. Richie Evans last week, I knew he was having his surgery. I prayed for him. I never pray for myself. Things got a little desperate, and I finally, put it out there and asked for help, and instantly, I got help that I couldn't imagine. So, and it's from above.
Well, out of the blues, someone sent me a laptop, and I am tethered to my phone via my phone cord. My phone cord that charges into its charger, Mogs. I shoved that in the USB and tethered right straight to my phone's internet, and I'm here live with y'all tonight.
Basically, that's exactly what I'm doing, but I'm not using a phone. I am using a designated hotspot.
Oh, okay. And I've used the hotspot, but I figured for going live, that USB tethering to your phone, it seems to work better.
No, this is tethered. This is tethered to my computer. It's
right,
Right,
I'm plugged in. I'm sitting on the laptop tonight. I'm thrilled. I haven't
Congratulations on your laptop. That's awesome.
I haven't typed in almost, 10 years as far as on a keyboard. Okay.
You only need this. That's it. These two. That's it.
Oh no, I know all my home keys. I used to type 100. Mogs, I used to type 120 words a minute on a desktop. So, the whole world opened up to me when a friend, just out of the blues, I didn't ask, just sent it to me. And I didn't know how I was going to get internet on it. Can't really afford it. So with it tethered to my phone, it really made it very affordable.
One real quick thing I got to address here. Where did it go? Sorry, Paulie. Mogs, pick a spot in Matt Lachey. Let's meet up for a beer, bro. Dude, I don't drink, but I will meet you at Bert's. Just let me know when. Or meet me at Bat House Park, right next to the bridge. That's where I was before I came here. I was over there fishing. It was like 9 o'clock. I'm like, oh shit, I got a show.
Well, Moms, they make non-alcoholic beer nowadays.
Don't drink them. What's the sense?
They do have water, I'm sure.
No, yeah. You know what? I tried that once, and I had quit drinking. I was already 4 years in, or 3 years in to being sober, and I was out playing a pool tournament, and I was like, you know what? Let me try a non-alcoholic. So I went with the St. Pauli's girl, non-alcoholic, just for whatever. And I drank like 5.
I've never tried one.
No, I drank like 5, maybe 6 of them. Figure they're non-alcoholic, but they're like 0.5% alcohol by volume or some shit. I go home.
I'm lightweight. I'd get.
No, I woke up at 2 a.m. with the splitting headache, almost like a migraine. It was so bad that I threw up.
Oh, how horrible!
I'm not drinking any of that shit.
I heard that. Thanks for the warning.
What's that, Paul?
Plus, they make you pee like a sprinkler.
Polly, reach out and touch me so I can test this. Y'all gotta help school me.
Oh, on which way to point? The opposite way.
Yeah.
I think I can put my finger in your nose.
I always mess it up, Pearls. Always. Always. I think I'm going to get it, and I'm like, okay, I got it.
Oh.
Yeah, you just go the opposite of what you think it is.
Well, apparently, guys, I am not sitting in a tree. I'm sitting on my couch with Kat.
With your doggy?
Oh, yeah. Hey, okay.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's like, hey, it's better than being in the pen or the hole where the warden throws both of us, and all he gets bread and water. And I just want to address the thing about non-alcoholic beer. Just let us pretend that we're Blockbeard for a minute. Arr, that'd be like drinking 0% alcohol rum. Who the hell wants to do that?
Paulie, you crack us up so much.
I try, guys. Since I'm not sitting in the tree and there's no pine cones in this vicinity, I must say that the elk scrotum sandwich that I had for dinner was really, really good.
So Mike, WTF Mike went on an all whiskey diet. So far, it's working pretty good. He's lost 3 days already.
Hey, Eric.
Media Palace, what's going on, Eric? Patrick Vaughn, great to see you. Sawdust Beast, how's it going, Mark?
Mark.
Hey, Toby.
What's up, Bubba?
There's so many people popping in, and I'm just trying to keep up. Hobbs, how's it going? Lester? Jeez.
Well, I
feel
wanted
like I have to
to say,
start
Bo,
over.
I just wanted to say,
that?
Jackie, great string of videos this week. The hair video was the best.
Oh, thank you.
We should definitely do the glasses more often too. Love the attire tonight. Mogs, love the bandana. That must be new. It looks like it has a nice, like, starch press seam in it or something. Like you just pulled it out of the wrapper.
No, I pulled it out of my back pocket.
Holly, I was wanting to do the Bugs Bunny thing right there with your head there.
Yeah. Nice. I'm hunting wabbit. Arr.
What a maroon.
Yes, I am. And I like macaroons too. You would have never guessed that. I went to the doctor's today. I haven't been there in 3 months. He's like, hey, you lost 35 pounds. I'm like, really? Where'd it go?
Good on you.
Oh, yeah, no, just I'm having some medical shit going on. It's ever the going thing. Diabetes sucks. So,
Well,
you know,
prayers there, and you know, keep it up,
yeah,
because
no,
you know,
dude, it is
losing
what it is,
the
man.
weight's going to help a lot, dude. I mean, I dropped in the past 9 months almost 35, 40 pounds.
Oh, it's hot as hell,
Wow.
there, dude. You sweat that right off. Boom. I mean, it's nice now. You're in the best part of the year right now in Florida. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Till the oven preheats. Then it's gonna be baked mogs.
the nights are cool. You know, they're just getting to where it's like, oh wow, that's why I'm outside. You know, I'm out by the pool.
Today was a beautiful fall day here, man. It was probably almost 70, maybe 68 degrees. Had a little bit of a breeze, which kind of kept it on the cooler side, but lots of sun, man. I love days like this in New England. It's great. You know, this is one of them times of year. There's not too many of them left, so you kind of enjoy them while you can, because you ain't going to see them next year.
Yeah, I miss the leaves changing.
Yeah, we're
like
just turning here.
Arizona, you don't get it like you do back east, and then down here, I haven't experienced. It's my first experience with Florida. You know, this first season, so I don't even know what the winters are like down here.
Yeah, they're going to be just like probably today. They're nice down there. Winter was awesome. I did like that. You get 70, 75, 70, you know, in the 70s. I mean, I know them guys are out there with a snorkel and a parker at 70, but
No, it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
80s today.
Yeah, beautiful.
I got to give a shout out to Duke. What's up, brother?
Duke.
Oh, hi, Duke. Pop on, Duke. Come on.
Even no one back home says he opened the windows last night. You know, it's getting to that type of weather, and I'm digging it.
Yeah, we're gonna get cool here tonight. I think we're going down to like 39, so we're getting closer to getting our first freeze, that'll pretty much kill the grass, which is good, so I can retire the lawnmower for the season.
You're right.
But yeah, we're getting near that point in time. So
yeah, I can't get used to hearing those numbers. Like, you know, Iron's already getting snow on the ground up there. I'm like, wait a minute.
Wow.
It's 39 degrees right now.
Christmas trees will be here the day after Thanksgiving, so we'll be as soon as lions, pumpkins, and mums oh my goes to Christmas trees, and ho ho ho, here comes the fat man in the red suit. On the show.
Mopar Bill says it's 65 in Amarillo right now in Texas.
And Moggs, I'd like to give a shout out to everyone in chat. I've missed y'all, Miss Sharon Guy, Miss Sandra Piper. They are some of the diehard mods of the internet with grace and finesse, and they're kind and caring. And you know, I've watched them pretty much through the years. I've watched several mods on several channels, moderators on several channels, and I've really grown fond of a lot of people, you know. But I have to give a shout out to those two. Those two have some of the kindest hearts as mods I have ever witnessed.
They
You
do.
can see their character as people is genuine, and the world needs more genuine people, to where we're not worried about what
Absolutely.
everybody else thinks. No. And we can just be ourselves, and we're not judging each other. And gosh, if we're having a bad day, well, just remember we all have them, and
Indeed.
that's about the best thing we can try and remember. I'm not an authority on the subject, but boy, I sure agree.
Well,
And
you never know what somebody else is going through. So a little respect goes a long way, or a little
correct.
kindness.
Correct. I missed a lot of people. I've been busy. I'm quite well. I've just been rather busy. I took a break from the internet, and it's
that's
done a
good.
lot of good. And oh my gosh, someone sent me a laptop.
That's awesome.
That break for the internet, I love researching topics, Moggs, and I could fill someone's inbox with, who knows, 150 PDFs on just about any subject you want to mention that I've probably read and know something about, and aren't an authority on any of it, but I have a yearning for learning. No
Me
matter
too.
what it is, even when it includes masks with bling.
We should check out the
Nice.
I love a lot of the colleges have their courses open online, and they even have a lot of their
Yes.
workbooks, and even some of their
Yes.
professors will let you turn in your work and test. And
Yes, Patricia, the whole world opens up. That's
Yeah.
right.
Coming.
I've needed
Very
it
fun.
for a long
Can't hear
time,
you, Paulie.
and I'm blessed. I really am.
It's okay.
Now, as to learning the commands on a Chromebook, oh, what a pain in the derriere. But it's pretty much as normal as a desktop was, And
Oh yeah.
my trip to the hospital had to relearn the whole left side of my body without any help. They never sent me to physical therapy, and so I have really, and I've dropped from 139 pounds to my normal 116 pounds for the first time in maybe 6 years.
Oh.
And so the whole world's opening up all the way around. I mean, when you can get back into your old clothes and you can go in your closet and say, yeah, I can wear that dress now.
But that's why that's when you look at it and you go, I knew I kept that for a reason.
Right. And my feet would stay swollen, and I threw on a pair of spikes the other day, Patricia. Oh yes. Yeah, I'm a tomboy, but you never know. I'm like Ellie Mae Clampett sometimes.
Boing, boing, boing.
Kudos to her.
I gotta do a couple shout outs real quick.
But I'm going to leave y'all. I love you all. Love to all. Love for all. And just keep it going, okay? And
Pearl, thank you so much.
Bye, Pearl.
Y'all keep in touch, okay? Good night.
You too, girl. What a sweetie.
She is.
Hey, my head just got huge. Wow.
Hey, now I can't do I can't do the Bugs Bunny thing anymore.
But you can go like this.
Yeah.
Wet William.
Dogger, stop doing that. Stop.
Western New York Bigfoot Investigation Group, what's up? How's it going?
But
John Hall, how's it going? I did see somebody else. What the hell? I had scrolled back so I wouldn't forget anything. Dorothy Lang, how are you? Kelly Maltby, great to see you. Then there was somebody else. Where the hell did it go? I want to say it was like a Nelson, or I'm scrolling up till I find it. Damn it!
That was really awesome, though. What was What
Mr.
was his
Prost?
channel?
Outcast Paranormal.
Outcast Paranormal. Right.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool
Hey, you
for him to
guys,
stop
you
in.
guys ever see the Annie DeFranco behind me? Can you see the picture?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah. All right, hold on. I'll flip the camera around so you can get a good look at it. Let's see. This thing's pretty wild, man. Every time I look at it, I always find different shit in it. Oop, that's not the one.
Nope, that's not it.
I don't know how to flip camera around.
Just move your head.
Flippy, flippy.
Move your head out of the way.
But it looks like there's a Bigfoot right here hiding behind something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of like half cloaking. He's pink for supporting breast cancer, and then there's a bunch of stuff over there. I don't know. It's a pretty wild painting, though.
Something to drop acid to.
Yeah, and where the hell the dog go?
Right? There's Michael that was like, I'm never doing
Miss Dill, how are you? Good to see you.
I just wanted to pop in and say hello to Jackie and to you, Mogs. Trying to be a little bit more serious today. I don't have enough alcohol in me to be funny, so I'm just gonna pretend that I'm not.
You don't need alcohol to be funny, Paul.
No, I know, dude. I'm kidding. But I cut down both girls. I got 7 ounces between both plants, so I did pretty good on those.
Oh, fucking A. Right.
Yeah, I'm getting ready. I just got my tent ready. I sanitized it and all, and I think in like 2 weeks I'll be getting some clones, and I'm going to start my winter grow. So,
Nice.
Right on, man.
be pretty good.
Right
I'll
on.
have water coming out of my ass like the Pillsbury Doughboy or something. I don't know. He's downstairs. I'm taking him outside.
That's
Okay,
awesome,
boss.
man.
Yeah,
Stacy Perez, how are you?
The horse
Good to
just
see
cracked me
you.
with a whip. Said I got to take the dog out, so he doesn't need to put the dolls in the house like Santa Claus. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right,
Hey,
dude.
Polly.
Nikki, how's it going? Harry Mad Hoaxes and Hoodwinks.
She had
Hopefully
a
you got
great.
your channel out. I haven't had time to do shit.
I sent you a message. It was good. It was really good.
Was it?
Good one, Nikki. Bravo to you, Nikki. That was well done.
Right on.
Well done. Honestly, that was just, it was very well done. Oh, and Stevie asked to post the link, please. She's asked a few times.
Oh, because my mods can't do it. I got it. It's all good. Dun, dun, dun. There it is.
Thanks, Dorothy.
Danny, what's up, man? Oh, Dorothy wanted to know if she could wear that. Can I pull that off? So link is in chat. That was a good good burst of folks that just came on. That's awesome.
Yeah. That was really neat. Man, Seven Pearls looked awesome with her mask when she leaned back and her glasses had the glare over it. And the mask was
I was
going.
like something out of Star Wars in the dark.
She could tell scary stories like that, man. You'd be hooked.
Right? But it's funny how loud she speaks because she's trying to, get through the mask. But I don't think that speaks so loud.
Yeah, she's not like me where I'm really super. Have to.
What's up, Joe?
Hey, man.
Joe,
Hi, Iron Dogger.
how you doing?
Took your hair
I'm
off,
doing
huh?
well. Yeah, I had to get a haircut.
Looks good.
Yeah. I just wanted to pop on for a little bit. Since I haven't been on here for a while, and wanted to tell Iron Dogger how lovely she's looking. And
Oh, thank you.
Mogs, you still look like a guy I want to start a commune with. So
Well, we gotta invite Paul. He's got the weed.
you never know. I might have some too.
That's right.
Yeah.
He definitely does.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, man, I've been collaborating with a few more people now, and it's kind of cool, man, getting after decades of just being out there by myself, it's kind of cool to start collaborating with some other groups that kind of think the same way you do about going about things, when you're out in the field there. So I'm collaborating with a group, tactical Bigfoot research,
Ooh, right
because
on.
they're not that far from me, and he's been in contact with me off and on for a while now. We kept being like, hey man, we got to get together, we got to go out and do some investigations, and it went there, and then finally, I guess it was after Whitehall Festival was here, and we met in person at the Whitehall Festival. Now we actually have put it into plan, about actually going out and doing investigations out there, collaborating together. It's pretty cool, man.
Right on. It's
That's
it's
awesome.
good to get out there and share ideas with other people.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like I did the 168, and I'm fucking clueless. I didn't I got down there, and I'm like, well, okay. I mean, yeah, I was a hunter and a fisherman. I'm a fisherman. I spent time in the
yeah,
woods, but it's a different
yeah,
scenario when you're now. Okay, now you're looking for something that may or may not exist. In my mind.
right, right.
So
Yeah, I
meeting up
mean, in a
with
lot of
people with
people's
like,
minds, yeah,
well,
Yeah,
meeting
we
up with
have.
people like Mark Newble and people who are experienced in it, you learn so
yeah.
much, and
Right.
so
I
it was
mean,
cool
well,
because I
and
never
I
had to, go ahead. What?
no, finish what you're saying. It's
Well,
cool
I
because
didn't have
you
any
what?
bad habits. I didn't have any,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not out there knocking on trees or anything. I just let everybody lead, and I followed and paid attention and learned.
Right.
So it's cool to get out there with people who have some experience with it.
And some
Yeah.
skill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would. Yeah, there's
Absolutely.
definitely a group of people I would love to get out there with, and
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, there's
Yeah.
marks
Well,
on
it's
that
funny. I
list.
mean,
Quite a few of
it's
them.
given me a
Mark and
chance to
Larry and
collaborate with a lot of people
sisters
that
and
I never
Lynn.
would have thought that I'd get involved with. Not for get involved with as in because I'm just a little New York researcher, right? I'm but I'm getting involved with people like Doug Hychek, indirectly.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
that's
Yeah,
wonderful, Joe. That is awesome.
indirectly. I mean, I'm not directly talking to him every day and stuff like that, but some of the stuff we're doing, and I'm not gonna just because it's in its infancy of experiment. I'm not really gonna go real deep into it, but we're doing some stuff that's kind of interesting, and it got me real interested real quick. Because Doug had an idea about ultraviolet light and the effect on color of hair.
yeah.
And
I
yeah.
heard that whole thing.
So through going through tactical Bigfoot research, I'm kind of I'm participating in that now because it's wild, man. It's funny that Paulie mentioned that the thing that looked like a Bigfoot hiding on that curtain was pink because that's what it shows so far. Some of the experimentation shows that there are
It shows
certain animals, most of them are nocturnal, that will show up pink. They'll
with
give
the
off
UV
a
light.
pink glow in a
Yeah.
UV light. Flying
Like
squirrels
me,
do,
Yep.
and
I
so
do.
yeah, the experimentation sounds cool. So it makes you wonder about, will a Bigfoot glow pink? If we can get some Bigfoot hair
Oh,
and
or if it's like the
actually
polar
test
Just
bear,
it
hit up.
and
will it even
see.
show up?
You need a big
In
you need a big ass UV light and just light
Yeah,
up all Bigfoot.
light him up if you can find one.
And
That's
all his
right.
friends are gonna laugh at him because he's pink. No.
Yeah, right. Well,
sassy.
it gets into a lot of conjecture on my part because Doug also mentioned a story once where they were out in the woods and they were these flying squirrels, man.
Mm,
They were,
mm.
Doug. He said he was talking, and if you guys ever heard Doug talk, he's or watched anything with him, he's got kind of a raspy, soft voice, and these squirrels, man. He said all these squirrels started landing on him, and he said I probably had like 20 flying squirrels on me at once, man. He said they were even starting to groom me and stuff. So
They're the cutest little things. I am telling you. They
Well-
got those big eyes, and yeah, they come up on the cabin. And the first time, I was like, something's out there hitting the cabin, and then
yeah,
it was like, wait a minute, there's too
Yeah.
many, like around it at the same time, and it was like that's way too coordinated. So
yeah.
I kind of went out and looked, and sure enough, there's they're so dang cute.
Little-
Oh my god.
yeah. My brother, or not my brother-in-law, my uncle. God, I cannot
Make
say
up your
this
mind,
right.
damn it.
It's
My relative.
The family.
It's my brother-in-law's uncle's nephew's son's wife's cousin. No, it's my actual
Twice
nephew,
removed.
my nephew-in-law. He's married to my niece. He hates them damn things because they get in his house and flying squirrels. They get in his house and
Oh, okay.
they wreck stuff, man.
Oh, yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
hear that, but feed them and they won't. They're really cute.
Yeah.
It is
Well,
11.
you know, the funny thing is, I've never
7-Eleven.
seen one except for at night in an infrared under night vision,
Right.
because they are nocturnal. But
Well, it's like they were saying with the polar bears and stuff, if it's requirement of heat, you may not see them because if their body is really well
Insulated.
designed to keep in heat like a polar bear, you probably won't see the heat detection unless it's like their eyes or their mouth or
right,
some exposed skin area.
Right. But yeah, it started getting me conjecturing though with the things landing on him and this pinkness, and I'm like, what if Bigfoot is pink under ultraviolet? They can and they can see in ultraviolet light. Maybe that's how the flying squirrels are identifying Sasquatches because they're pink, and the Sasquatch know they're pink, and the squirrels are grooming the Sasquatches because flying squirrels eat wood ticks, man. And who's going to have a problem with wood ticks more than
sort of
Bigfoot with all
possums.
that hair, right? I mean, I wonder if there's a
Interesting.
symbiosis going on there somewhere.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, you see it in all other kind of life. Why not?
Yeah.
Right.
Fish.
Would
There are fish that do that.
Yeah.
That
Well, there's
just-
fish that clean sharks, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
no, pilot fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all different fish that'll just
Birds
groom up
that
fish.
birds that
Well,
clean
you've got-
alligators' teeth.
Nemo.
Or
I mean,
Yeah, but they only do
crocodiles,
that
whatever.
once. So the gator closes its mouth and it's all
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Waits
I
for the
wonder if
next
that's
group.
ever happened. Dude comes along, starts cleaning his teeth, and the gator's like, "Yeah,
Thanks, Ralph.
sorry, this is your last day here.
we don't need your services anymore.
That's right. Your services
Just
are
one
no
last
longer
time.
welcome."
Dave's taking over today.
That's right. Your buddy will pick the pieces of you out of my teeth. But yeah, and I just weaseled. I say this because I just weaseled my way into doing an investigation on Halloween night, Sunday, 31st, with Steve Coles.
But I like how you
Out in
said
the-
you weaseled your way
I
into it.
weaseled my way in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because now I know
That's
him,
you.
so he'll be like, we're gonna be doing this, and I'll be like, okay, Steve, I'm packing the car. What's he gonna, I mean, Steve's a nice guy, so he's like, yeah, man, come along. I mean, so
Awesome.
I weaseled
That
my
would be
way in.
fun. It's
but
gonna be
it
fun.
Well, just like
It'll
with,
be a blast.
with the gentleman that was here earlier, he's with Stacy Brown. Bigfoot and Nana told me that they were having an outing, so I was like, "That's just up the street, basically." It's the
Yeah.
Oh.
November 20, 21st, somewhere around there. So yeah, I would definitely go check that out. And so it's sort of inviting myself, but why not?
Yeah,
What
sure.
are they gonna say? Leave? Make me.
Maybe.
I can cook. No.
Hey, that's a plus already, man. You're invited to anything I go to if you can cook, man.
Yeah, man.
Come to New York, man. You can go out Bigfooting with me, man. Just just bring your cooking utensils.
Known back home, there's going to be a little outing up in Mayaca
Leslie.
towards the end of November, the 20th, 21st, somewhere around there.
So Nikki.
Hey, Leslie. Hi, Nikki.
Nikki,
Hi.
girl,
Well,
your
going good for you.
show.
Right on.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not mad at me about that.
Oh, heck no. No. Not at all. Not at all, Joe. Total opposite. Okay.
Okay.
Total opposite.
I'm
I
glad
was
it
just
turned
going to
out the
tell
way it did.
everybody. Okay. During the show, because I interviewed Rick Dyer. Okay. And he's going along and he's dropping names and blah, blah, blah. And he dropped Steve Cole's name. And, Joe's really good friends with Steve. And so Joe went and told Steve, hey, you need to go check out this
Oh.
thing because Rick Dyer's on there and he's talking about you,
Okay.
blah, blah, blah. So about 3/4 of the way through, I get a text from Steve, I want on. And I'm trying to pay attention to this, and I'm getting texts from at least
Welcome
6
to my
different
world.
people. 6 different people were texting me during the show, and I'm trying to do everything
Yeah.
and act like nothing's going on or no.
You know what?
But I'm getting texts from Leon Thompson, and I'm getting texts from Steve and
You did
everybody.
well though, Nikki, because Dyer was totally surprised.
People were like, let me on. Everybody was texting me, and it was just, there was a lot behind. I was trying to pay attention to a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, and that's what happened. And that, I brought it up. I was going to ask, I've got Steve Coles, and he right away said, yeah, bring him on.
Well,
So yeah, things got a little heated there for about 4 or 5 minutes.
Never had that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of yours. And yours were even worse. But people in the chat were freaking out and mute him, put him in the back. They wanted me to separate what was going on, and I was like, hell no.
You can't buy that shit.
I want to hear, because during
Let it roll.
Emotional things like that, stuff comes out.
That's right.
And that's what I wanted to hear. So I just let it go. I could have been a little funnier about it. Later on, I was thinking, I have this board, and I should have had round 1. I was that, but I thought about it later, and then I could have had round 2.
Nikki's a ring girl.
But I didn't think about it in time, because I was paying attention to everything else, and but I was fine. I was not over my head. Okay, I know Rick Dyer. I've followed him for over 12 years. I know his manipulation. I know his style, and I was letting him go for it. And so when Steve came in, it just kind of blew up. But it calmed down. It calmed down fairly fast. It doesn't seem like it when you're in the moment.
Yeah.
But I went back and rewatched, and it was fine. It was fine.
It's a good show, man. It was a good show.
I can't go back and rewatch my stuff. It's like, well, I just did it, so I go back.
I don't either. I usually do not. But there were points in this particular show I needed to re-verify for myself.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's why I did. And because I was getting questions, and some people loved it, some people hated it, but for the most part, comments and were very good.
You can't please everybody, so
you can't.
Just do the best you can do, and
But show wise, they realized what I was trying to do, and I think a lot of people thought I was going to side on his side or something, but I just stayed neutral for the show, and just let him, do what he was going to do, and it went okay. The chat went okay too. I saw a couple of things get a little carried away, but I was hoping my moderators would take care of that and try to stay focused.
As you know, I mean, there's the show, like what we're doing now, and that camera work here. And then there's what's going on in chat. That's a whole nother show itself.
It is. And I had to actually, you know how you can put it on your brands and not look at the chat.
Yeah.
I had to do that so that I
Yeah.
wouldn't be going, my eyes would just wander over there because I wanted to stay focused so I could answer. Because as he's going down his whole story, I had oodles and oodles of questions that I was like, I gotta ask about this, I gotta ask about that. And I mean, I had typed just pages and
Oh,
pages of
wow.
stuff, okay?
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I have to check that off. He answered that, he answered that, he answered that. And so
It's too much work.
it was kind of me, just I needed to make sure I was keeping track of where we had gone in his storyline because I
Sure.
didn't want anything to be skipped.
Or repeated, or
Yeah.
cover
Because a
twice.
lot of people in the chat were getting kind of feisty and they would miss what he would be saying. So they would ask the same question again. And I'm like, God, he just answered that, but they didn't pay attention. So, that's what got distracting for me at times. But for the most part, I let him go and that was fine. But, you got to take it for what it's worth and what he's done and realize that he's a master manipulator. And don't believe everything you hear
Of course
from
not.
just take in the information.
It was
And
well done, Nikki. You did amazing. I'm bravo to you. It was really well done.
thanks. It was
And it was honorable
Steve
of
really
you.
put the cherry on top for me.
So-
Because he's got proof. Of everything he says, he's got proof. So that helped his case. No, this is this, but there was some misunderstanding, and that can happen.
Yeah.
He thought
all the time.
things were being said that they really weren't in the show, weren't said about him. And but it all mushed out at the end. But I do have to tell you one thing. The after show party was longer than the show.
Ooh.
Why do you call it a party?
Oh, I always do.
It's like, after the
I
show,
had
we
Rick
hung
Dyer
out
and
for
Steve Coles for
4
3 hours after the show. It got kind of crazy,
I
and
bet. Ah.
Did you record it?
Did you
you're not
record
the
it?
first person to ask me that. No, it was not. And
You
Yeah, because
can't
once you're
sing?
if you're using like StreamYard, once you end the broadcast, then you would have to
restart a whole new.
one.
Yeah.
So then send out the links and everything again. So yeah,
I think it would have been kind of weird if I had gone.
I think you did a great job, Nikki.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
I think you did a great job, and I think that one thing that I learned from it, and I think a lot of people did, and it was, you could tell in the chat people were starting to figure it out, is that, the first half of the show, it's just the shock value and astoundment that there is a lack of remorse, and that there is, he's smiling and laughing about everything he shared. And that really rubbed people, including myself, the wrong way. But about halfway through, you start to realize, and through his own admittance, that he has no fucks to give.
Yeah.
About
I asked
this
him
community.
flat out.
He doesn't care about researchers. He doesn't care about people who've had encounters. People who've had the thousands of people who have had encounters and carried that burden, afraid to tell anybody about it, myself included, for 30 years. What did he do for them? He buried them in a pit and put a lock on it with what he did. He put them so far from ever having hope that somebody will someday give them the chance to be understood. It just felt like he moved the ball back 50 yards from the end zone, And the thing is you keep hearing him and you're thinking, how can you not be sorry for this? He don't care. Once you figure that out, that he does not give a shit about anybody, then you start to realize, okay, I get it now. I get why he can talk about it and laugh because he doesn't care.
He never did.
He never did. Yeah,
There
you're
was
right,
the
Nikki.
only motive and goal for him was to make some money.
Money.
Where is
And
this guy
And
you're
I
right.
located?
think
What's that?
it was
Where is he located?
healthy for.
He's in Florida right now. Yeah,
Is he?
he's back in Florida. He's been back and forth from Florida to
I'll be right back.
Arkansas, I think, and then back and
Back.
depend.
It
But
was
he's in
healthy
Florida
for
Not a
him and
problem.
Steve too. I think to be able to
Yeah.
realize that they weren't that far apart. I mean, the
Oh, yeah.
misunderstandings they had with each other were minute. They agree on 95%.
They did
Of if they were to
100%.
each share separate accounts and separate rooms, it would nearly be identical. There was just
Mhm.
some real small things. And when Steve first came on, I think they felt a million miles apart, and then they quickly realized that look,
Right.
and some of that was part of it was Rick's just not knowing. I mean, Rick was kind of speaking matter of factly about art when he was arguing with Steve about, well, you don't know this, you don't know that. And when Steve said, let me tell you what I do know, a lot of it, Rick was like, oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, I didn't know that was said in that report. I didn't know that wasn't there.
Yeah, a
So,
lot of stuff was
I-
from his side, his lawyer's side.
yeah.
And of course, his lawyer's not going to give him all. He's just going to say, "Okay, you beat it. It's over. You know, everybody's the same, and there's nothing going to become of it." When there came down to consequences, and there wasn't going to be any.
See, I'm
You know,
lost. I don't know what
and
you're
it
talking
all turned out because Tim Fasano didn't want to. It was his
Well,
50 grand that got lost.
the super edited version, Mogs, is that Rick said that Biscotti got a hold of Coles at like 3 in the morning and said, look, I want you to write up this contract. And Rick had used the verbiage that Steve had signed the contract. Steve didn't sign anything. Biscotti said, here's what I want you to type out. And that's what Steve typed out and sent it back to him. And then Rick and Biscotti signed this contract. Steve never signed a contract saying, I agree to this and agree to that. But when Rick first shared that, it made it sound like Steve had signed this contract with Biscotti and him. And Steve was like, I didn't sign shit. Biscotti said, type this out for me. And I did and sent it back to him. I never signed anything. And once they cleared that air, there really wasn't a whole lot for those two to argue about, to be honest with you.
Right.
The two
right,
big
that's-
winners of the whole show were Steve and Rick because they got to realize that they aren't miles apart like they thought. Everybody who was watching the show was just about as pissed at the end of it as they were at the beginning of it. I mean, there really wasn't any resolution or healing for a pro Bigfoot person
Yeah,
or researcher.
but you know that Rick and Steve kind of bondy thing that happened at the end continued 3 hours into after the show.
Mhm.
So, that's the stuff that I mean, I kind of like was just listening and listening to hear them go back and forth. Do you remember this? Do you remember that? Things that I didn't know about. And it was crazy how they were comparing and how close they were. But,
about. What is Rick's deal? Has he had legitimate experiences, or is he a
no,
comedian?
he was
or
not a
what the
Bigfooter.
hell is-
He even halfway through the show, despite fessing up to all the lies and all the fraud and everything that he did, openly admits to, says he did it for the money. He always looked for the next opportunity, and it didn't matter who got burned in it. He followed it, that he was in it for him, nobody else. And that was very conveyed in his account.
And there's tons of that going on right now. So.
Yeah, but then in the end, not at the end, but like 2/3 through it, he says, what's funny is the shot out of the tent of the Bigfoot, that was real. That was a real Bigfoot. You're looking at the real thing, and we're supposed to believe this after an hour and 10 minutes of straight thick bullshit. We're supposed to believe that. Oh, but that part's real.
I don't know if you missed it or not, man, but he was also saying the whole hoax, and the reason he decided to hoax was that him and his friend actually found a dead body, but left it where it was at. Didn't take
But
any of
his
it.
friend was a cop, but didn't have
And
a
I'm like,
knife, and all of this stuff just
What?
fell apart.
What?
Yeah, I'm
So
sorry.
you find a
Let me.
real dead Bigfoot body. You don't take a part of it or anything. You leave it where it's at, and then you go off and you go, you know what we ought to do? We ought to just hoax a body. That makes no sense
No,
whatsoever.
right.
I was really trying
agreeing with
to
Joe.
reverse
I agree, Joe.
dissect some of the things that he was saying, and as somebody who has broken his back almost trying to drag a 5 or 6 year old whitetail buck a half a mile through the woods that weighs 260 pounds. His reason for him and his friend not dragging that Bigfoot out was that it was too decomposed.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's
Had it not
easier to
been
get parts off of it.
had it not been decomposed, how the hell would have two guys pulled something out of the woods that weighed well in advance of 800 pounds? You couldn't have done it even if it wasn't decomposed.
No.
So, I mean, it's just, why didn't he just say it was too damn big to pull it anywhere instead? You know what I mean? It's in the details where you start realizing, well,
Yeah, do they have horse and wagon? I mean, what are we talking about here? Like, yeah, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've only seen a few little things that Dyer did, like the body
Right,
parts in the freezer, the frozen head and the foot, or whatever else there was. And it was like, what? What is this?
Yeah. Well,
it was
just for
it
your
was
edification, you should check out his video of the Bigfoot outside of the tent thing. That was actually pretty convincing at first.
Is that the one where it's like supposedly eating the
ribs
rack
off?
in the crick of the tree?
I mean, that one you got to admit, man, they really did a good job at hoaxing that one, man. Because before I knew who Rick Dyer was and all this other stuff, and I saw that, I was like, "Holy shit! You gotta be kidding me, man!"
Yeah,
but you got Rick Dyer saying that they ordered a suit.
It was bullshit too.
You got him saying that they ordered a suit and it was a professional Hollywood-made suit, and when they got it, they still didn't like how good it looked. So they had another expert actually make it look even more real, to where it was just you couldn't see the thing and look at it without just feeling this is absolutely real. And he explains all that. And then 15 minutes later, he's saying, "Oh, but that's a real Bigfoot outside the tent." I mean, it's like, dude, you built your own case against yourself before you
remember.
Nikki,
in the
what did he say to
in the
you?
2012, okay, just in 2012, he was dealing with a film studio. Okay, please take that into account. That's all I'm going to say.
What did he say to you, Nikki? He said, "Oh yeah, nobody can find that mask because it's not a mask; it's a real Bigfoot." Didn't he say that to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like,
he said the only way he said if somebody finds that mask, it's made of skin and hair because it's a real Bigfoot face.
Well,
they would have killed it and cut
then
its face.
so is Peter Kane's. He used his hair on that thing.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's who I'm talking about. I'm thinking of Peter Kane with the frozen head. Rick Dyer.
Rick Dyer just
my
had
mistake,
the Georgia.
I apologize.
Georgia Bigfoot.
Just had the Georgia freezer Bigfoot that was stuffed with a pig, possum intestines, and goat balls.
Yeah,
I had two people completely mixed up. I apologize for that.
Yeah, Peter Kane.
And then he
toured
for 2012. He killed a Bigfoot in San Antonio, and then he toured the body, and the body was called Hank. And Hank toured all over the United States, which netted him over $500,000.
Yeah, that was the surreal part.
LIB friggin' thought the same thing, that I did. I got it mixed up.
The surreal part, Nikki, was I thought to myself, he was talking about the 2008 hoax and made like 50 grand. And when in the end, when you said, well, what did you make all together after the 2012 hoax? I was expecting him to say like 120. When he said in all we made about $500,000, I just about fell out of my chair
By hoaxing.
Yeah.
by hoaxing. 10
Yeah, and
bucks
he
a head.
said,
And think
I
about
want to go
this.
fucking meet this guy. And have coffee.
just
Everywhere
go
they
watch my
brought
show.
this.
Yeah,
No.
well, Nikki, with the way you asked him, like, do you not even feel bad about this? That was
I
was
said,
great.
you fucked up.
Yeah,
I just flat out said, you fucked up, man. You messed
Yeah.
up a lot of people's lives. You didn't mess my life up because I knew he was hoaxing from day one because I knew that wasn't the case. But I watched him because he was an entertainer. Okay. To me, he was my Bigfoot soap opera every day. What
Huh.
shenanigans is Rick getting
Up
in
to.
today?
Oh,
You know?
absolutely. I gotta agree with you on that, Nick. Absolutely, he was an
That's why I
entertainer.
watched
There's
him
no
and I
doubt about it.
knew everything about
I
him.
mean, you can say a lot about him, but he was an entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
At the
You
very
know, I mean-
beginning, one of the questions that I asked in chat was, I said, I'm really not interested in hearing an apology because I don't believe it would be real. I'm not interested in hearing
That'd be a hoax
about
too.
how did you do this or how did you do that, because you can do anything if you've got the money and the right backing and the right effects studios and shit.
Mm-hmm.
What I really wanted to understand was the mindset behind what not just makes you get started in it, but over and over. When most people would have, that third or fourth roadblock said, okay, it's time to just pull the plug on this, he just kept looking for a way to keep it rolling. Where does that mindset, that kind of, I
greed.
compared it in chat to like
Yes.
when you talk to somebody who's on death row for killing 5 people, let's say, okay, and you say, you know, well, tell us about this and that. They laugh when they talk about their crimes and how they did stuff because they really don't care. They don't care about who they hurt. They have zero remorse.
It's
And
a
that's
sociopath.
kind of the way Rick approaches
Exactly.
this, is with zero remorse and not
Sociopath.
caring about anybody but himself. That's why he's capable of smiling and laughing when he's sharing all these details, because it really doesn't make any difference to him who got hurt.
Well, you
Right.
heard him say it himself. He said it was just about the money and the attention. That's
Yeah.
why he did it. The money and the
And
attention.
Joe, think about this. All those people who paid $10 to see that body, all the investors who threw 10,000 here, 25,000 there, it was all cash.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he got was cash. Nothing had to be accounted for. It's so much easier to say, let's keep this rolling when nothing's on the books.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows how much you made. He could have told Nikki and the whole world I made 50 grand on the whole thing, not 500 grand. Nobody would have been able to prove him different. So
The only one we have proof of is the 50 grand from the 2008 because there was an actual bank slip from the ATM. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
they
people were telling Nikki you
That's
should get
right.
Tom Biscotti on there, and she was saying
Yes.
no because he'll have a heart attack and I'm not going to be responsible for it.
She'd have to stock up a whole lot on
He's-
Diet Peach Snapple.
Yeah, he's gonna ask me for a diet Snapple, and I'm not gonna have one. Damn it!
Nikki,
Well, really,
get
you
me a
set
Diet
a
Peach
What that was
threshold.
about.
What's that?
You set a threshold for yourself, Nikki, because right now if somebody says, well, do you think you could ever handle interviewing a Todd Standing or anybody like that? It's like, shit, I interviewed Rick Dyer. Who the hell can I interview? You
Yeah.
know,
That was just
there's
asked
no
to
limit
me
now.
in the chat on Steve Call's show. They asked me if I would get Todd Standing, and I go, why the hell not? I'll ask. All he
Yeah,
can say is, but that'll
your-
be a
your-
completely different show
Your
because
name will
he's
scare him now.
not. He's not a hoaxer. Okay, I know.
No.
I know people want to believe that he has not been proven to be a hoax.
I
We
no
have
proof
not
of it.
found any masks
No.
or anybody who has
I
said they
actually-
worked on him. So he
I
would
actually
be-
believe that Todd Standing's the real deal, to
he'd
be honest with
defending
you.
himself. So
Well,
that
he's
would
had
be
some serious players come out with him that had experiences
Yeah, that's
while
been
they
my
were with
point.
he
him.
has. I think he totally has
And
had
so,
experiences, but I
you
think
know,
he
when you
got a
have Les
little
Stroud and
carried
some of
away.
the doctors and some of the other
You got
people, like
Jeff
those
Meldrum,
incredible.
you got Bendernagel, you got all
Yeah,
these guys that went out with him and claimed that they believe what they saw.
that's right.
Whether it was items taken in such a remote area, they know nobody else was there. That these guys, they aren't still. I mean, Les Stroud especially. Les doesn't just look at the science. He looks every time he. It's a lot like Doug Hychek. When Doug Hychek shared with me, every time he filmed an episode on TV, they had the amount of vetting they had to do, the amount of scouring the woods to make sure nobody was out there when they were filming. I mean, they had to go to such precautions to protect their own integrity.
Sure.
And if Les Stroud's going to do a series of his shows with Todd Standing out there, you don't think Les Stroud took measures to ensure that no other humans were where they were spending the night? Of course he did. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
And
just
he even said that, like Les even said that, like he made sure that he made the plans and then just all of a sudden said, "Hey, I'm here, let's go." And they went. And so there would
Yeah.
have been no time for him to even call anybody and have them even meet up and have it all play out. So,
And one of the strongest, for the weakest evidence, one of the strongest shots somebody took against him was I can't remember his name, but the one guy who was filming an episode of his own channel with him and discovered the gloves that were in his vehicle and got them on camera. Okay. And they were like Bigfoot hand gloves.
Yeah.
And so the question came out, are those what he was wearing when the apples were snatched off the logs, the close-ups, right?
oh,
And Todd Standing says, look, I got those gloves from somebody as a gag, right? Like they weren't, he never used them for anything. And I started thinking, if me and Mogs or me and Joe were going to drive down to the 168 or something like that, and I'm at a Walmart or wherever, and I see Bigfoot gloves, I'd buy a pair and give them to Joe as a gag gift, right? And Joe would say he'd wear them one time and laugh and throw them in the back of his truck, and we'd drive on. And there they'd sit for 3 months. And that was Todd Standing's basic explanation of why they were there. And it's reasonable to think that I mean, that's not strong evidence against him.
No.
So
Yeah.
it's
funny-
hard,
I get
it's
it.
hard
lots
to
of
say
hats
that's
and different stuff, that I wander around. I got my little Sasquatchies I play with, and do videos with.
there's
like-
a lot of tremendously weak circumstantial evidence that when you pile it all together, it feels like you have a case against Todd Standing. But
Yeah.
when you really forensically peel back the layers of that, you really don't have much to prove he's a hoaxer.
No, but the other part of it is he has a good trajectory. He's trying to go with it. Like he's wanting something good to come out of what he's trying to prove as well. He wants them to be,
protected. Yeah.
very protected.
Well, here's the other thing. If Rick Dyer was to say, hey, I'm going to take 20 people out with me on an expedition for a week, and I'm going to do that 4 times a year, you couldn't put 80 people out in the woods in 1 year with Rick Dyer without them saying, this is bullshit, man. Right?
True.
But Todd Standing's still taking groups of people out on expeditions about every other month. They're paying to go. He's putting them up in these remote locations. He's taking them out. He's calling. He's showing them gifting areas. Things are getting taken. Sounds are getting returned to them. You can't hoax 100 people like that without one of them saying, wait here, and they aren't they aren't lined up to do that. So
You want to hear my take on this real quick?
Please.
I totally believed that Todd Standing had initially seen something, okay? And he may have gotten a little bit of a film of a real one sometime, but he could never reproduce it. Okay.
Okay.
And because of that, he used his production companies. He had two at that time. Okay. He had two production companies and he used them to help him further his cause by creating the two fake, what I feel are two fake Muppets, okay, that he
Okay.
used.
Muppets.
Now,
The headshots,
we have
the
the
close-up
evidence
headshots.
that he did have a makeup artist. He did have the two production companies. He did request for actors in the newspaper at his local place. Now, I saw that receipt at one time, that ad at one time, but I can't find it now. So I don't know if anybody out there still has, got a screenshot of that or it's somewhere where I just don't know where to look for it. But I remember seeing it way back when all this initially happened for an ad for actors. For
Nikki,
him.
when you talk about the makeup artist, are you talking about his sister?
Sister.
Yeah.
She was a hairstylist.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's another thing. And there's some video out there that I'll try to find the link to it and shoot it to you. But somebody had asked him about it, and he was talking about it at a conference where he was speaking at. There wasn't a ton of people. There's probably 50 to 100 people there. And he said, they said that my sister was a makeup artist, that she worked for a special effects company in LA. He says, the truth is my sister was a hairstylist, and that was it. She never did
Well,
any
he
more
still
than
had the
that.
production company, which also
Well, I
employed.
totally agree with that, but I'm just saying, when people say that his sister was a Hollywood effects stuff and they blow it up, that's a
Well,
big, from what
yeah.
I've understood, and I can't prove that it's a false or it's
Well,
wrong.
that's why I never said
but
it was his sister right now. I said there was a makeup
Yeah.
artist
Yeah.
because I
Well,
can't
Matt,
prove it was her.
Did
No, I
was
can't
the
prove any of that, frankly.
Yeah.
All
was
I
the
can do
head
is saying
shot
red.
photoshopped?
Well, yeah, there's proven from the metadata that the shots were manipulated.
Okay. Thanks, Matt.
There's something about the they looked at the eye distance of the one really round-headed looking one that was really
Yeah.
round-headed.
Jake.
They measured eye distance and bottom of the nose.
Jake.
And then they
his name.
superimposed that on his face and other human faces.
Yeah.
And it just didn't match up to the proportionate size that 1,000-pound Bigfoot's head would be in where those
Yeah.
distances should be. It just didn't make sense. And so I don't, as far as showing that there's CGI creation or anything like that in that delayering, I don't think they expose that. It's just they're looking at these focal point distances and human reference and saying, God, it doesn't look right.
He could prove they were real. There is footage before and after those shots, I guarantee you, and he has never shown them.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't just sneak up on them and then
Right.
boom,
And
only
is
showing
that
us
something like he was
30 seconds
presenting
of
to? Now he's in Canada, so it's not Congress you have. So your Parliament, like
yeah, something. And that's all. I just think it got kind of carried away. That
I think you're right.
Legit. That he did. He's been out there. He knows he's seen them before. He has been. It is very wild out there in the Nordeg area where he goes out.
Did you
to.
see the video that Les released that they did together?
Yeah, I watched
where
that.
he had the flare and he was surrounded.
Oh yes, I saw that.
And
too.
screaming at him.
Yeah, it could be anything.
So
that video
think-
kind of, I wasn't sure what to make of that.
Yeah.
It
Put
really,
the camera
you almost got to
way out
discount it.
to film himself all scared.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in that situation, wouldn't you have your phone like right there next to your heart and be like, "What the?"
Yeah.
But
It's not
himself.
enough of a video to really say that it's a video evidence-wise. It's the audio on
it's
that
weird.
that really
Right.
is,
And also the
analyzed.
other factor in people being scared, you can never dictate who and how someone's going to act. One of my best friends, we were looking over this area in Valdez, and I slid down this rock, and there was just barely enough room for me to stand, and I told her to wait. I turn around and she's sliding, and so had I not turned around and grabbed her, she would have went over, and her head is like hanging off this huge precipice, and she's laughing her face off, and I'm like, this is not funny. I do not find any of this funny. But that was, her way of, my sister, my dad can tell you this, she'd get her butt whooped and she'd be laughing, and that was her way of, oh my gosh, she ended up getting her butt whooped even more because of it, because that was her way of dealing with nervousness, or and people, you just never know how someone is going to respond. And I only say that because of those incidents. I always try and give people the benefit of the doubt. I always do.
I think Nikki's right in that he started out sincerely. He really did. And I think that there are more than one encounters that he's had that I believe were sincere. But there was a shift at some point, like Nikki talks about. I believe those videos where he was actually in the snow, is surrounded at night by three of them. One's distracting him, he has apples out on that log. And he has a light sitting there propped up at it with a camera. And something distracts him from the left and throws a branch at him and is like howling at him. And it freaked him out so much he sidestepped, kicked that light, tipped it over. But the camera was still operating on IR. And when he's freaking out at this one that is like really trying to get aggressive with him, you see the hand over by that log take those apples off the log. That camera was still recording at that log while this one's distracting. And you listen to his reaction and how he's dealing with that situation. I've watched it over and over. I tell you, I think that was a sincere encounter. And I think there was some other stuff. I'm not positive. I would lean more towards yes than no, that the audio recording of that video where he's surrounded by him and they're running past and slapping him, you hear the panic in his voice and how he's coming undone in that video.
Yeah.
I mean, it is compelling. But now when you see the things that don't really interject him in that panic mode, like the close-up stills of the faces by the trees and stuff, and how he would run and then jump and turn around and like wipe out in his ghillie suit into the leaves and quick film behind him to see if something was running behind him. That kind of stuff, that's where I doubt it, because those are the ones that doesn't have him in that unnatural, because I don't care how experienced you are, how much time you spend in the woods, or even how many firsthand encounters you've had. If they were running past you, slapping you on the back of the head and screaming at you, you would lose your shit to a point where you couldn't think clearly. You'd be so afraid for your life. So those are the ones I look at and say, look, it's compelling. It's these still shots of these faces that are by trees and stuff that you don't get that advantage to let his reaction play a part in your believability. Because that was a still shot that you could have taken 10,000 pictures of to get it right. You couldn't take 10,000
videos,
audio recordings of 6 Sasquatches making you fear for your life like that. You know what I mean? So I think there was a point when there was a shift where he just felt like he had set this bar a little bit higher each time. And then he had Meldrum and Bendenagel, and then he got Stroud out there, and now he felt like, where do I go with this? There's only one play to go, and that's higher than where you've been, and that's a pretty tough spot to get to.
I was guilty of letting public opinion affect what I thought of Todd Standing. Just always, because I didn't know shit about him. I saw a couple things and I didn't like them. I want to say I didn't like him, but having formed an opinion before I formed my own, I let other people formed it for me. I saw a couple interviews and I started to change my mind. But my problem with him is his attitude. his
Yeah.
I do this, I do that. So what, dude? Don't
That's
don't
most
break your arm
people's
patting
problem.
yourself on the back. Be
He's
humble and just do your thing. Don't be a dick.
Yeah,
he's a
exactly.
he's
Yeah.
a type A personality. He's very brandish. He's very pompous. He's rough around the edges and he's abrasive and he speaks very matter of factly about things that aren't necessarily facts to most people. But again, that's his personality. I think outside of the Bigfoot world, if he was like Rick, if he was a car salesman, people would dislike him for the same reasons. You're too matter of
It's his
fact. You're too
personality.
type A.
Mhm.
You're too pompous. You're too, and so I just think that's the way he is, and what's he going to do about that? That's why I think there's some sincerity in where he was going and what he had experienced, and then it just got off the trail. And because of that type A brandish personality, it's very easy for people to look back at and say it's all bullshit. When I don't know that, I don't think it is all bullshit. But,
Well, see, Leslie says, where does Todd talk like that? Just curious. Look at any of his intros.
so if you find his channel
But
right now,
everybody's intro
he's
comes
on.
across as da-da, dee-dee-dee-dee.
But you're looking at the intros of his old shows. He's still on every week. He's on doing
Is he?
a
He does a
interview in
lot.
his
Don't
basement,
watch.
and he
Yeah,
has some followers.
Sylvanic Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has
Okay.
a cult following, and you'll hear him. I think that's one of the things since all these allegations have come out that he has kind of backed off that he speaks more from a hey, what can I say, this is what I've experienced, this is what I'm doing. If you don't believe me, don't believe me. Yeah, which is, had he been doing that from the beginning, I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know that there'd be that
Right.
many people doubting him, really.
Yeah, Todd's
Yeah.
always been a
But
non-issue for me. I viewed it, and I was like anybody. I was interested in seeing the Bigfoot documentary that he made because I was interested. I thought maybe he was genuine, and I mean, and I had, I saw a couple, some of the footage, like one running up a freaking incline that's almost vertical, man. I thought, well, Jesus Christ, person can't do that, man. That doesn't seem to be a human being. So I thought, all right, maybe this
Right.
guy, but he's really kind of a non-issue. I don't say, I have no proof that the man is a hoaxer or hoaxed anything. Hey, look, I saw the picture of Jake, and yeah, that's where I went, wait a minute now, that just doesn't really look real to me. And I compared it to some of the other ones, and I know that not every Sasquatch looks alike, I'm sure, but just one of them looked just so different than the other two that I'm like, wow, that's really outside of, So I started having questions, and then, but that was pretty much it. I mean, I didn't like, oh, he's a hoaxer, and I mean, he's been pretty much a non-issue, and I've caught his lies. I mean, Todd can be kind of like, he could come off to some people like, I'm Mr. Know-It-All, I'm Mr. Expert. I
Yeah.
mean, he will tell you that this is my profession. I am a Bigfoot researcher. And he's one of the only people that I know of that will say that. I do this for a living. Well, he does, and it's probably a good job if you can get it, but I have to have a
Well,
real
because
job.
he's making his living off of other people, as
Right.
far as
Right.
bringing him
Right.
out there.
But
But
he's
Torres says he remembers years ago he was on one of those rescue shows like Rescue 911. Is that true?
I don't know.
Yeah, because he got stuck up on the mountain because of a bear.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
chased for days and ended up on some cliff for days.
Is
But he
that when
ended
they
up,
were saying known Bigfoot hunter releases and then goes
disappeared.
missing?
yeah, but he ends up
Oh.
coming down and say he knew where he was. He wasn't lost or anything. He was frankly just trapped. You know?
Yeah, he was cut off from an access point. He couldn't
Yeah.
Oh.
get back through that pass.
Huh.
One thing that
Thank
Nikki's
you,
probably noticed a
Victoria.
lot in her hoaxing research is that it is very easy for somebody to have something very concrete and evident in what makes it appear that they're hoaxing, right? And then when you get 100 other people start forensically analyzing everything they do in life, you can find a lot of other things that are questionable because and it just seems like, well, that must be a hoax too, even though we don't. There's one thing that's concrete and 50 things that you could twist and make it look just as bad if you started looking. I'll use myself for an example. If I was to say that in my research I did something and somebody proved me wrong, right? And caught me in a let's just say they said, well, he had to have been lying about this and here's proof, okay? They could start looking at other areas of my life and say, well, he's a real estate broker and he spends 4 days a week in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and he spends a couple days a week 7 hours away in northern Minnesota at another home there, right? And he says every Thursday he goes into this area and puts things out, and every Friday he picks them up. A couple weeks ago, I had a closing on a real estate deal in Sioux Falls on a Thursday at 11 a.m. I had to have another associate of mine go and do that closing. But on paper, it shows me as the real estate broker who did that closing, even though I wasn't there. So let's suppose I get somebody comes to fruition of proving that I've done something horrendous. And then they start looking at all this little stuff. Somebody's going to see that and say, well, shit, he said he was in his research area that day and he wasn't. He was at this title office with the client doing the real estate, when in fact I wasn't. But you could find things like that that would make people not give you the benefit of the doubt anymore because you've done one egregious act that puts everything else into question.
Right.
And I think that's what happened with Todd. He got to a point where he did something that just was unethical and won't fess up to it. He's gone too far to back up to it and say, hey, and I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying if that's what happened, it's easy to look at 100 other things and say, well, explain this and explain this and explain this. And there may be explanations for all of them, but he's under the light now.
I'll answer that question you had up there, Muggs. Like Nikki said, as far as that Bigfoot video where it's standing up behind a rock and squats back down, I'll be the first to say that when I first saw that, I thought that was pretty convincing too. And like Nikki said, actually, nothing that he's put forward has been proven to be a hoax. Been proven. None of it. None of it. I can say that I don't think Jake is a real Bigfoot, but I don't have proof of that. It could be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe it is a real one. I don't have any proof of it. I'm just saying I'm looking at it and I don't believe it. But that doesn't mean he's hoaxed anything at all. So I guess the answer to that question is no. As far as I know, nobody's ever proven that to be a hoax at all.
And it's one thing to look at it and try to analyze him, but then when, like I said, when you try to put yourself in that position, I mean, Joe, if I said, well, Rasta's bullshit, Rasta doesn't exist, well, you know he exists.
Sure.
You know he does.
And thanks for the question, Barry.
You know,
anybody else has questions, just do me a favor and put them in chats, because this is where they stand out. Otherwise, I like read it and didn't realize it was a question. So at first,
I think what would be interesting about a Todd Standing interview is that you could do it for 2 hours, and in the end, you'd still have a split group saying half's bullshit and half's real. Because, like Joe said, there isn't enough definitive proof to prove it either way, pro or con.
There's a complete good way of doing that type of interview. I could do it, but it would be in the way I contact him and the way I present what I intend to do and what he would be facing. Because I wouldn't want to bring him in and he would be bombarded by, a bunch of stuff that would stop him from the interview.
Sure.
If
you attack him, he's going to stop.
Needs to be. Would need to be right up front, kind of like what I was with Rick. Hey, this is what's going on, and this is what I'm going to do, and this could happen. Because I didn't want any surprises. Which Steve Cole.
Do you think interviewing him yourself would be better than interviewing him with a panel?
It could. Oh yeah, definitely. It would be
Absolutely.
another situation
No,
where I
I
wouldn't
think
have
the
a
only
panel.
way a panel works is if you have a couple people. I'm not saying that are from his camp, but
Right.
somebody that he felt comfortable enough that could at least argue, how do you prove that, that angle for on his behalf versus
Mhm.
the ones that are going to say, well, how can that be real,
Well, somebody who's really been supportive of him is Claudia Ackley. She's been
I don't trust Claudia. Don't like her.
greatly
Putting it right
part
out
of
there.
his
Lester
team
Never
ever
heard the
since
asked,
he
name.
came down to California.
did his assistant try and shoot him? Lester Taylor brought that
Yeah,
up.
I saw that. I
Oh,
was going to
not
post that.
him. That she got, or what was it? Her and her boyfriend or whatever shot each other, or one of something. It didn't shoot him. It didn't have to do with Todd. It just was his.
The girl that was trying to
Yeah.
film with him for a while, that they were doing that
Yeah.
production.
And I say that about Claudia, and I'm sorry, maybe you guys like her or whatever. I didn't like her story, the way she put her kids. Her kids are there with her, and she told the story of just. And I think I said this before, and somebody said no, she didn't say that. But to me, it was always like she was like, "Kids, just let me have this moment," and the kids are freaking out. And she's
I've
like, "No,
never
just
yeah.
heard this story.
Yeah, she did.
I've never heard
You
this
wanna
The
know
name
what-
or
video is
this
out
story.
there.
I missed something here. I don't even know who we're
bullshit.
talking about. Sorry.
Claudia Ackley had an sighting up where she lives, and she had her two girls with her, and they walk this area quite often. And one of the girls in the video, they stop. The girl is looking straight up at a big tree and says, "Mom," or "Mom, do you see that?" Or you see
Okay.
something like that.
Okay, I know what
And
video you're talking
you have
about.
that
Okay.
video.
I've never
And
seen it.
she's yes. what
She's
is
like,
she-
let's
she
go,
says,
let's go. And the
"I
mom's
see
like,
that."
what? Okay,
let
I
me
see
just
it.
have this. Let me just have this moment. It's like,
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Something like that. And then the girls are like, "Can we go? Can we go? Can we go? Can we?" Something to that effect. And then it cuts off after that, so you don't really know what's
You
going
want to
on.
know how I view, if you just could make things happen with the wave of a hand, Nikki, how I would view the perfect Todd Standing episode would be to not have Todd on at the beginning, to have Jeff
Oh,
Meldrum,
and then bring them on. Pow!
have Jeff Meldrum and Les Stroud talk about their experiences with Todd and how Jeff feels that what he saw was a Bigfoot, and that that Les Stroud is sharing his encounter experience as well with him. The gifts that Les was leaving on the tree that were taken, that weren't, they had camera traps there that were spun around and weren't catching images, but yet it just shows an apple, and then the next clip it's gone. It's like, whoa, what the hell just happened here, right?
Mhm.
How did something freeze that camera? I mean, you don't see a bird grabbing it, you don't see nothing, right? And so you get two guys that are going to kind of nonchalantly argue that if I can't not only prove that it was fake, but what I've seen shows that it's either real or it's unexplainable, like supernatural, right? And then you get one or two guys who are avid opponents of Todd who say, this is why we feel this is it. And after an hour, you bring in Todd Standing, and they don't know you're bringing him in.
Well, like Stevie says, why is
Would
it all
that be
great
the
footage is
coolest
always cut
interview?
off?
Man.
So Stevie asked, why is all that the great footage is always cut short? I mean, there's
Because it shows their nephew taking off the suit. You know?
Yeah, because usually
Well,
the
there's a
great
video
footage
of
is
one
fake.
guy
That's
in
why.
Alaska, and you could see like he's hiking through the trail, and a lot of the trails up here are really, very, single track. And he kind of looks over and notices something. That's when he starts filming, and he sees it like moving through the wood, and it's kind of compelling video because it goes down into a ditch. you know, and the guy is actually scared. And when it comes back around and he can't see where it's at, he just craps himself and just takes off running. Like he just leaves whatever, like he doesn't even try and figure out where it is, or like, nope, he's had enough and he's out of there. It's a really good video, but like there's lots of those kind of videos where you don't really get to see before and after.
Leslie's got a point. If you always have people coming out for you, then you will develop a serious attitude.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
over the last,
when it comes to Todd Standing, I think that is, you know, and I'll just say it out. I'm not saying that I'm a big Todd Standing proponent. Like as I said, he's been kind of a non-issue for me. But I mean, you know, I think a lot of people who are out there saying, and I think it's unfair, you know, to be fair to him, I think it's unfair of people to be like, oh, he's a hoaxer with no proof that he's actually done it. And it's because they don't like his personality. That's not fair.
That's true, Joe.
Just because you don't like his personality, man, doesn't mean, you know, and I think that's what a lot of those
how it
people
was
are,
when I came into this whole Bigfoot community, you know, that was the word was Todd Standing is a hoaxer and blah blah blah, and
there's nobody who's proved that. If he is, then
but I didn't know anything about the guy.
So far, nobody's proved it to me.
And that's a big problem that I'm finding out now that I've been doing this stuff, is that people are really quick to call people hoaxers, and then I said, "Oh, okay, what's the proof?"
Good point.
And
Judy.
just look at it. I go, "No, that's not proof of a hoax." I go, that individual could truly misidentified that or thought it was something else, or their mind, they think they're really seeing a Bigfoot. That's not a hoaxer. You know, I would consider it like a hoodwink. I may show it as a misidentification. You know, it was something else, but it wouldn't be
put more stock into it than it deserves. Things
like that. There has to be some kind of paper, video, audio proof that what was shown, they knew they were showing was not a Bigfoot. You know,
right?
When you look at the level or the threshold that people analyze stuff and how loosely some of it is conducted when trying to decide if something is authentic or not, those same levels of scrutiny they use, if you applied them to other people, who would be believable at some point? And I only say that because I'll use this as an example, and I'm going to use it because I know that the guy is 100% real, and I know that almost everybody that I've ever met that know him personally know he's 100% real, and that's Doug Hychek. Now, when Doug Hychek filmed a giant squid, everybody on that boat had gone to sleep, and that's why he had the opportunity to do that. He had this camera with 1,000 feet of cable, and he had this big lure that he had smuggled on that boat in a bag. And he thought, if I get the chance, I'm going to do this, right? And, you know, they took turns. One person overnight would stay awake. And when it was his turn, he lined this thing up, put it out, got it out. And that's when he got the video. Did anybody say, why were you the only one awake? Why was everybody else? Nobody approached him with that kind of scrutiny because it didn't matter. What he captured was believable, and because he is who he is, everybody trusted him. I trust him. I know that what he captured is 100% real. But if you would use the same level of scrutiny, a Todd Standing or somebody, they'd say, how come you were the only one awake? How come it was conveniently when everyone else was asleep? You know, and then you'd be like, oh, well,
wait a minute. Giant squid?
Yeah.
Like Arcus toothus?
The first one.
Yeah. He was the one who discovered it.
Do a live one.
Yeah.
I know the video. I know the footage.
Basically proved that they were real.
Well,
he was on a boat and
washed up ones, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was a live one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't realize where they live at, where they you know, at what depth, at what areas, you know, dead one washes up on the shore. Did it float 1,000 miles?
Yeah.
You know, where was it? Right. And they were out gathering footage of other things, and he had this It looks kind of like a squid, like about 2 or 3 foot long, with a big camera embedded in it with 1,000 feet of cable. And they were trolling that behind this boat that night. He was, and got it on video. It came right up to swoop it, and you could see in definition how long it was, because the camera was set up to lay out those little rectangular grids that superimpose
lasers.
when you see something go by.
Sure.
And it confirmed that it was 30-some foot long. And it was like, holy shit, the Holy Grail. These things aren't just something that's washing up dead and being misidentified. Now, if somebody really wants to get freaked out, go to Doug Highcheck's Facebook page and look at something he posted last week. He follows the coolest groups of scientists from all over the world, right? I mean, legit people. They aren't just out there following the money. They're following the science. And there is a diver that's a picture of him diving with this like amoeba, like placenta sac that is about 10 times as big as this diver. And inside of it is hundreds of thousands of eggs of squid.
Wow.
And he's like, we've never seen this before.
Not that big.
Live, a giant squid, you got to ask yourself, well, how many young would it reproduce, and how would it reproduce them? What do those eggs look like? If one got bit by an orca or a great white and ripped it open, and that sack of eggs that weren't ready to be laid yet just ended up drifting, is this what it would look like? Because that's kind of what it appears this is.
Well, squid lay their eggs on the bottom, on the ocean floor, actually.
Yeah.
In these little long, elongated sacks. But that's a regular squid, or like you get into like your Humboldt squid to get bigger. But if you're finding something that big, what did it come from?
Well, and Doug talks a lot about how things evolve outside of their niche. Okay, so that like lake trout is one of the things that he's pretty adamant about. There's one lake in Canada where they were filming lake trout, and they would be fishing and reeling in, a 30-pound lake trout. They don't get much bigger than 50 pounds, right? And following it was like a 7 or 8 foot long, well over 100 and some pound lake trout. And he had seen these on that lake more than once in this trip, from what I understand. And he believes that in this lake, that these lake trout got out of their niche to where it may not exist in any other lake. But in this one,
they're growing.
Something happened there. Yeah. Something happened there genetically where they just got out of their niche. For instance, if Andre the Giant lived in a village with 5 other Andre the Giants and Miss Andre the Giants, and they all reproduced, in 5 or 6 generations, you could have 200 people living in a village that all the size of Andre the Giant. He wouldn't be one person who's an anomaly. It'd be a group of people that got out of their niche, so to speak, from what we would consider to be normal.
I think part of that has to do with also the explanation. They were talking about how they grow when reproduction or generation of the species does not become the main focus, and actually eating does become the main focus. Again, being outside of the niche, you're not concentrating on the generation of your species or the continuation of your species. You're just survival. You're going to get very, very large.
And you've got an ecological system that exists of support species of fish. So like, to use a freshwater lake, Mogs, you would identify with this. In a lake that has really big bass, probably has catfish, bluegill, crappies, all these support species that aren't apex type predator fish that those bass feed on. And the abundance of them causes those bass to get really big size. Whereas if there was just a small, let's just say there was bluegills and nothing else in that lake besides bass, those bass might grow to be 7 or 8 pounds at mortality time rather than 15 pounds. Okay. And so when you, depending on what, if you found a lake, let's say that had 8-foot long lake trout in it, the first thing you would want to know is what other fish exist in this lake that this fish forages on. Because if it's a very high fat content fish, if it's a very, what are these things feeding on? Could that play into how they slowly got a little bigger in size and a little bigger in size and just kind of crept their way out of that niche, you know? But this took a big turn from the hoaxes, but I only used Doug as an example
You know
because
where you are, right?
I believe I've never heard Doug tell me anything that I absolutely, even some of the crazy shit he's told me. Joe, the first time he told me he had 20 some flying squirrels land on him at night.
Yeah.
I thought, bullshit. Come on,
Yeah,
Doug.
I was like,
But
yeah.
I know Doug. I know
Well, I
Doug
believe you,
personally
man.
to
I
where I
believe you.
can't doubt that because I know that he, first of
I
all,
believe him.
he has way too much to risk to tell a lie. He just does.
Yeah.
I mean,
I believe him.
he
You
wouldn't.
know, the
do that.
funniest part of that story, Jeff, the part I found funny was he said they stopped talking and the squirrels took off. Then as soon as he
Yeah.
started talking again, they came back.
Yeah, and they
I'm
tried
like,
it. They tried
the
it
same
with
voice,
other
man.
people talking, and the squirrels wouldn't land on them.
Nope.
And then so they went out the next night when he was wearing something completely different, did it again, and they landed on him again. So now they realized they weren't just attracted to something that he was wearing.
It was his voice, man.
I mean, it was just, it's his voice. It was at a level, a tonality, a calmness, whatever it was, they were attracted to that.
Huh.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny you used Andre the Giant as an example because Judy Wheeler is like, I know him. Or I personally knew Andre the Giant. He owned Giants Camp in Gibsontown, Florida.
That's cool.
I have to point this out because this Stevie, you rock. By the way, Connor somebody might get uncomfortable with this. I don't care. It's fucking funny. Connor said, Stevie, moonlight good for the body, barefoot in the grass or stand. Stevie said, Bigfoot and on. Yeah, sure. If I had feet. And then somebody said, damn, Stevie. Because for those of you who don't know, Stevie's a recent amputee. She doesn't have feet.
Yeah. When you say recent amputee, I mean, this is something that nobody else would joke about, even though Stevie has a great sense of humor. Nobody else would feel comfortable joking about something like that with her, but it's not too soon for her.
No.
It's not too soon for her.
Dude, it wasn't too soon.
She said over and over, she told you, Mogs, she said, I'd go to that if you promised to carry me around when we're there.
No, but we just, here's how she is. When she first got into a car accident before the legs thing, she lost the toes on her left foot. So her daughters come to visit and she cracks jokes about, well, you're having a half off sale, for shoes. She would just go with that. And that's why when I told you, I didn't know I wasn't sure how to take it, like what she's going through it, but I let her lead. She wanted to joke about it. And that's what we did. And it made her feel better. It made me feel better. It took I wasn't as uncomfortable, it was just, okay, let's fucking joke about it. And she knows I'm there for her, but it's the way she approaches it just amazes me, her attitude about it and everything. And God bless you, Stevie,
Yeah. Stevie B, I don't know her that well. I mean, I know her from being here. I think she's awesome, man. I mean, I can already tell she's the kind of person with the way she talks about it and the way she deals with it. She's the type of person to be like, well, I'm saving a lot of money on socks.
Yeah, no shoes.
That kind of thing,
Well, she would
You
tell me,
know,
yeah, when she had before she had the W amputation, she's like, yeah, I got this box with all left shoes in it or something like that because she couldn't wear it on the other foot. And now she's like, shit, I have a whole bunch of shoes. I was like, but they're all lefts. I'm like, well, I was going to say donate them, but, you know,
See,
what do you
there are
do?
a lot
I
of
gotta admit
people in
myself,
this.
man. I'd be moping around, dude. I'm sorry. I'll admit it. I know my weakness is. I don't know. I don't think I could handle it like she's handled it. She's stronger than I am. Let's
Well,
put it that way.
Well, I think
When
you
it
can
comes,
throw all medicine aside. Nothing is as healing as a sense of humor.
absolutely.
And I think that there's a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but I know some people in chat who have done some pretty healthy amount of studying human emotion and psychology. And Connor's one of them. But when you analyze, this is something that I noticed when I was in the Army, when we were overseas, that when even in firefights and things like that, situations where there is nothing funny about it. I mean, you feel like you've got, when you analyze a situation, you've got 3 or 4 different options, and none of them really feel like they're good, right? None of them are good choices. This isn't going to turn out well. And I've seen it where somebody will say something humorous in that point, and it levels everybody down. That laugh, that moment of brief humor in the
That's
midst
what
of
comedy is for.
chaos.
Like that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
That
what
it
comic.
resets your brain to a default status where you can start reanalyzing and look at those options again and start putting a better analysis as to what's good and what isn't going to work. And I think, in a sense, that's what Stevie's done. She's looked at this, and I'm sure that when she was in the hospital, I'm sure that as certain people visit, they just don't bring that sense of humor or that ability to bring her to that reset level. And she even shared that with some of the nurses that she had experiences with. She didn't even want them in the room, right? Because they didn't ever make her feel that, right? Everything was, this is bad, and this
Yeah.
is bad. Take your pick, right? I mean, it's like, you're not giving me an option to focus on anything but how bad this is right now. And I think that she found a way to hit that reset switch on emotion by using some humor. And it gives you an opportunity to relook at a situation and say, it could be worse.
Absolutely.
It's hard to imagine how when you're in that moment, but it could be worse. And there are
But she's
things
also
to be thankful for, and there's still joy happening around you in your life every day. You can't allow yourself to be blind to that.
but
Are
she's
you trying to
also
pet Joe's cat?
accepted the situation and is anxious to move forward.
this is my
You know,
sweetheart.
I thought when you were doing that, you were signaling to me like a wasp landed on my shoulder or something. I was like, is there something behind me?
Hey,
This
Jeff,
is,
she always
there's a
makes
flying
these little hand
squirrel on you.
gestures. What am I missing?
this is my Maudie's. My sweetie pie. She's such a beautiful calico.
She is.
Did you clip a couple hairs off her yet
Oh, for our
for the
experiment?
library?
I haven't yet.
I've been going to taxidermy shops and everything. I even bought placed an
probably
order
should.
today for a collection of mammal hairs from another group of scientists that
Oh, we've got
have
3
a
cats,
library
Matt.
of them.
I don't have
hair.
to.
I got dog hair everywhere.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say I don't have to
It's
pick them
probably
all.
one of my
I only need about 3 of them.
We've got 3. We got 3 cats. I can
I'll give
get
you the
some
whole
off
damn
the
dog. How's
furniture,
that?
man. That's all I have to do. I don't have to go to the cats. I just go to the furniture.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's on my shirt.
My wife was vacuuming the carpet underneath of our bed the other day, and we have a ragmuffin cat. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but they're very long-haired, really pretty cats. They're not the googly-eyed looking ones. They're the ones that they look like. Maybe I'm biased, but I'd say if there were such thing as cat models, she would be a cat model. Okay,
Cat model.
her name's Daisy.
She's
But
pretty.
Joni was in vacuuming the floor in our bedroom, and she was in there with this vacuum running for like an hour straight. And I kept thinking, that vacuum is not made to run for an hour. I mean, something's going to start on fire.
Oh,
I went in the bedroom. It smelled like warm, like electrical wiring. I'm like, you
Oh.
need to shut that thing off right now before you burn the house down. And then she was dumping the whole thing full of cat hair, and I said, hold on. And I grabbed like 3 or 4 of them. I said, okay, I just need these.
I need some of that.
There's a cop that lives around the block, and as you drive by the house, I guess they take home their own vehicles, and I guess this police officer in the forensic unit. I've always wanted to stop and be like, hey, what's the best way to collect evidence? Like DNA evidence. Do you use plastic or do you use paper when you put it in? Is it better in an envelope or is it in plastic, or just certain things? So if I want to put together a collection kit, what's the best way to do it? I just haven't.
I'll tell you, if you Google animal hair collection, I did that wondering if I could find. I was looking for university teams that maybe already had libraries of animal hairs, like 100 different mammals, let's say, right? And if they had cataloged them right, why would I go to a taxidermy shop and everywhere else trying to get hair if you could order it from somebody who's already done something similar in this process? So when I was looking at animal hair collection, I meant like a collection, like a stamp collection, right? Not the actual act of collection of a hair. And within the first 3 pages of those Google results, I'm going to tell you, there are some great research papers that really note the care and what not to give and what would be a risk of, compromising one of them, the integrity of it. It was pretty interesting, but.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, I mean, it's been a hell of a night. We're 2 hours and 30 minutes in.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that had been that long.
Yeah.
And let's bring our next guest, Rick Dyer. Hey, Rick, welcome to the show.
I mean, this is a great conversation. I don't want to stop it. If you guys want to keep going, just keep going. But I got to go grab some water.
Yeah, I got to go too.
All right.
It's been fun, man. It's been fun.
And thank you,
everybody. Thanks everybody who watched my show and all the great
Keep up the
comments
good
you guys
work,
have
Nikki.
left. Oh my goodness, you guys
you set such a damn high threshold, Nikki. Now I'm really curious to see where you go from
Well,
here.
next week is a fun week. Okay, next Sunday, Squatchaween, and everybody who's gonna be on the show is gonna have a costume on. And everybody who wants on can come on as long as you have a costume. So it's going to be fun. And we're just going to talk about spooky things that have happened to you.
I'll put on my
It can be paranormal. It can be anything.
I know Mr. Lee. I think Mr. Lee's been posting your link in chat. Guys,
yes,
go
thank
check
you
out.
so much. I appreciate it.
Check out Nikki's show. Also Joe's show.
Yeah. Thank you.
Doug or show. Jeff, I don't think you have a show, do you?
I don't have a show. Somebody asked me the other night, what's Jeff's...
but he's on everybody's show.
I like to make a shit show out of everybody else's channel. Why would I want that?
You're awesome, Jeff.
I'm going to be on Hiveless's show Thursday.
Oh, right on.
The one he does it over in the UK. So he does it at 9 p.m. there. So that's like 4 Eastern here, 3 Central in the afternoon. But
awesome.
We're just going to talk about, I mean, it isn't, I don't know. I'll talk about whatever he wants to talk about. I told him we can talk about Bigfoot,
hair,
guitars. Guitars. I have a guitar collection, and he's a guitarist, so we have that in common.
Wow.
He's a flat earther.
He's
a flat earther.
Oh,
I'm not. So we'd have some fun talking about that.
That ought to be interesting.
But I don't know a lot about flat. Like, I'm the kind of guy that's gonna say, okay, if the Earth's flat, How far do I have to dig a hole before I fall through? I mean, I feel like stupid questions, right? Because I don't know.
Well, it depends on which camp you're in, depending on how they figure what it looks like. But yeah,
On his show the other night, I said, everybody was, either it's a globe or is it flat? And I said, I'm going to start a new group called the Triangle Earth. That it's shaped like a pyramid. It's flat, but it's on 4 different sides. And I had like half of his chat saying, hey, I'd join that group. Why the hell not?
Technically, Iron Dogger wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a flat earther.
Yeah.
True.
As far as my co-host.
Very true.
I would
Who
say
would have thought Flat Earth would have brought us together.
There you go.
But yeah, guys, it's that time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joe. You gonna hang out backstage?
Am I gonna hang out backstage? Sure. Yeah, sure.
Do you got some?
I don't want to twist your arm.
No.
It's in headlock.
You need a beer? What do we got to bring to the party, Joe, for you to get excited? I mean,
well,
the craziest stuff happens at the after party.
I know.
Fire trucks.
Oh, dude,
fire trucks.
Wait
hours and hours just afterwards.
If you got Rick Dyer back there,
it's the only way you'll get to hear my story.
Fire trucks, strippers, cocaine. What's it gonna take, Joe? I mean, come on. What's your poison?
I think you had him at fire trucks.
Putting all three of those together.
Somebody's going to start playing with matches. But yeah, I'm just going to start dropping you guys backstage if you don't mind. Joe, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Guys, check out his channel.
Yeah.
Jeff, Joe, I'm going to toss you backstage. Thank you, dude. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeff is. Oh, I got to hit the wrong damn button. Jeff, it's always a pleasure. It's always good to have you on.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna tonight, to be honest with you. I was trying to stay in chat, and then Joe got on and started talking about that damn hair, and I was like, God, I don't want to get on there and talk about hair.
Here we go again.
But thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Thanks again, Jeff.
Yep, thank you.
Nikki, keep up the great work.
Thank you, guys. Mr. Lee.
I'm really happy for you.
Mr. Lee. I had to do that because I still think about that. Okay, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Nikki.
Right. Thank you.
Congrats. Good job.
Wow. That was a good show.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I hope everybody in chat enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And thank you for everybody who showed up tonight. Really, you guys rock.
Yeah. We had a good time. We usually do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I will be back on Thursday. You guys know. And I'll see you guys then. I'm sure I'll see you somewhere. I've been so busy. I got a lot of crap going on, and just trying to deal with that so I don't have the time to check out everybody's show. Usually I'm all over everybody's show,
Yeah.
So you'll see me out there, guys. Don't worry.
Awesome.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Iron, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Great job. Everybody again, thank you. Everybody that showed up in chat. You guys rock. All right, guys. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Peace and God bless.
See ya.
It's taken a while. It's that damn